There's another guy.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All that time. No one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Think of every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time. Caveman on the line. HG got the stats.
No filters, no suits, just facts on blast.
He seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman. What did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now.
Marshawn
Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like we're not getting any better.
To the left, got the edge and grind. We break it all
Get it into
down
Smith.
like
What a pass! Daniel Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in.
We roar from the base to the backfield floor. No filters, no fake control. We
So really, like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably, the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks in the season. You're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it.
HG on deck, stats loaded and primed. Reading the field.
Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking one.
Breaking down ball like a heat wave blade.
Oh, let's go! Oh, no. Put him in there. Did not put him in there.
We see through the hype. Call out the Warriors.
So don't you go saying that you're never going to see that. You're such a hater.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. HG and Caveman in the house. Back for another episode of the Football Frenzy. Man, we're all in a good mood in the studio today. Saints are on a bye week. Broncos got a huge win. That
Massive W.
Mohawk's already in the chat calling Bo Nix the GOAT. We just want to remind everybody here at MBR, we got our sports show. Me and HG love talking ball all day long. But don't worry, don't ever forget that military broadcast radio is all about helping out veterans and teaching you guys how to have your own show. So go check out the page, check out what we got to offer. We got a lot of different things. We work with a lot of different companies right now. Battleground Pro Wrestling, Die Tired, like sponsored brand with us. So we're doing a lot to help out the veterans as well.
Got an extensive network. I mean, we can help you make a show about just about anything. So
that's right.
That's the first step is just going to the website and checking this out. We'll get you taken care of. So maybe you can get your own sports show if you like talking sports as well. Well, Caveman, let's jump into a crazy weekend of college football and NFL. We had a lot of insane finishes, a couple more upsets, big shakeups to the top 25 again here. This didn't happen in the top 25 matchup, but I got to give a shout out to Missouri running back by the name of Ahmed Hardy, rushing for 300 yards in a huge game
crazy.
Against
Is he an
Mississippi
upperclassman?
State. I believe so. I think he's a junior this year, maybe a senior. Oh, actually, he's a sophomore.
Okay.
Wow. So he's still probably got
He's got some time to make a good case for himself.
another year or two. I mean, that was a Heisman type performance. I don't know if he's actually on the radar of Heisman voters, but he should be after that, for the next season.
Where do we want to start in the top 25 rundown?
Well, Friday night we had a couple of top 25 teams squaring off against some in-conference opponents. The Oregon Ducks finally back at home. The weather was clear, and that offense was humming and back at full strength.
This is a good one from Dante. Really accurate in this one.
Yeah, they absolutely destroy the Golden Gophers 42-13. 27 of 30 for Dante Moore with 306 and 2 touchdowns. And then Louisville, man, having a bit of a late season collapse. They drop another one, this time at home to the Clemson Tigers. Clemson
Louisville?
Not having the type of season that they wanted, but big win here against the Cardinal.
Big time spoiler.
Yeah. Gives them a shot to win one more game and be bowl eligible. So they got 2 more shots at winning a game. They end the year at South Carolina, but they also have a matchup with Furman in between that. So pretty likely that they can get bowl eligible. That was a pretty huge win.
They still got a chance to end their season above 500. I'm envisioning a 7-6 finish in Clemson. Get a bowl win.
I mean, I think they could easily go in the bowl season 7-5. They beat Furman, beat South Carolina.
Oh yeah,
and obviously not what you planned at the start of this season, but I think bowl games should still matter and have some importance to them. And you should be proud of getting to a bowl game.
For your young guys developing that don't transfer, that's going to be huge. It's a big game for those guys. It's rallying the troops after a tough season like that,
On to Saturday's action, we're going to start down towards the bottom in the number 25 spot, Cincinnati, another team that was on a hot streak coming into the top 25 and has since cooled off. They dropped one at home to Arizona. Arizona having a pretty under the radar season here in the Big 12. They're 7-3.
I got a weird stat for when we come back to this game. I got a weird stat for everyone.
Okay, gotcha. But they're pretty under the radar team here. 3 conference losses, so they're probably out of the conversation for the Big 12 championship. But not a team I would want to see at full strength if I'm trying to secure a bowl win to end my season. South Florida, number 24, going down to the midshipmen. Shout out Navy. Been very impressive all season. Still with a shot to win that American Conference and potentially make the college football playoff. I don't know how our former military are feeling. Do we want to see the midshipmen in the playoff? They've probably got the best chance out of any of our academy schools. South Carolina going to wreck Clemson? Yeah, most likely. More than Charles. I was wrong about Clemson too, Mohawk. I really, they were like one
we
of
were
my
all kind of
favorites.
high on them going into this year.
I thought for sure they were at least making it to like the final 4 teams and the bracket. I could have easily seen them winning it too, though. But that's what the beauty of college football. It is.
That was Mohawk's Heisman pick was
Yeah.
Klubnik,
I think he was my Heisman pick too. That was
other than Avery Johnson.
way off there. Yeah, the midshipmen 41-38 over the South Florida Bulls. Kind of good shot, man, to win that American. Can they?
Where are the JMU believers, though, is making that group of 5 being the 12 seed?
I mean, I really think it's going to be JMU though. They're looking special. They don't have a ton of competition really in their conference. I mean, they're Sunbelt East, and they're still undefeated in there. They've got a 2-game lead over Coastal Carolina. So,
They're in the driver's seat.
whoa, excuse me, everyone. Yeah, they're looking at potentially a crash course with the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Arkansas State's still got an outside chance, but the Duke's really better than both of those teams. All right, New Mexico gets a bit of a bye or an easier week with New Mexico State coming into their stadium. Win about as you'd expect, they just blow the doors off of the Aggies 42-9. This was a huge statement win here by Virginia, and also gives the ACC a lot of hope in their chances to have a playoff team this year, because Duke was really the key to maybe sabotaging all of that, being a 4-loss team with only one conference loss. While Virginia went ahead, goes into the Blue Devils Stadium and hands them their second conference loss of the year, drops Duke to 5-5. Chandler Morris was good to go, fully healthy. He was great in this one, 316 and 2 touchdowns. The running back Taylor, $133, 2 touchdowns on the ground. 34-17, commanding victory for the Virginia Cavaliers. Michigan had to go into Northwestern and play.
They're gritty this year, man.
Yeah, gritty, tough Northwestern football team. It was definitely sort of a trap game here for Michigan. Underwood gave the ball away a few times, but they really got a great performance out of Marshall on the ground, 2 touchdowns and 142. Michigan squeaks out a win, 24-22. Keeping it in the Big Ten.
Another trap game, dude.
We had USC playing Iowa. Iowa has been a tough defensive team all year, but this USC offense, very efficient. Still looking at an outside shot to maybe make the Big Ten championship. I mean, it doesn't seem super likely with how Indiana's schedule finishes out. I'm just like, you're really counting on Michigan to maybe pull off an upset for you in the Big Ten, but they do have to take care of business. I believe they've got Oregon this week. So those 2 teams are whoever wins that has a shot to maybe make the Big Ten championship should Ohio State fall to Michigan. But USC taking care of business against Iowa gets a 26-21 victory. More on that coming up. Georgia Tech versus Boston College. Boston College is having a disastrous season. They're 1-10, 0-7 in the ACC play, but they're hosting the Yellow Jackets. And I mean, the Yellow Jackets had to really battle it out.
Shout out Turbo Richard, man.
Yeah, 141, 2 touchdowns. He was great. I believe his name's Ryan Harris. Something Harris was torching this Georgia Tech secondary. He pulled up 142
Holy crap.
yards on only 5 catches.
Oh my god.
So I don't know what is Reed Harris, beg my pardon. I don't know what the average on that is off the top of my head, but that's a lot of yards. He was a problem there for the Yellow Jackets. But a big performance here out of Haynes King, 371 through the air, had a touchdown, a few more on the ground as well. Yellow Jackets escape 36-34. Miami hosted NC State. Thought this could be a bit of a trap game, but the Hurricanes just came out like a much more motivated team, really shut down a pretty explosive NC State offense. Huge victory for Miami, 41-7. Going over to the Big 12 here in a bit now. Utah on the road against a pretty explosive Baylor team. There's some questions on, how Utah would show up in this one. Could their offense match the offensive pace that Baylor can play with, or would their defense be able to rise to the occasion? The Bears did score 28, but it didn't matter because Utah was just ripping off big play after big play. Multiple runs of 60-plus yards for a touchdown. Couple had a pick 6 in there.
And Robertson.
Despite Robertson throwing for 430.
58 passes.
430, 3 touchdowns. Just barely over 50%, going 29-58. Wasn't enough to get it done. They also had this receiver, Josh Cameron, 13 catches for 165. He was a bit of a problem for Utah, but ultimately Utah was just threw way more haymakers in this one, 55-28. Utah's looking kind of scary. I'm not even gonna lie. The way their offense has been playing the past 2 weeks, and they've already got one of the best defenses in the Big 12.
They scored Baylor's total points in the first half.
Utah could be a scary team if they make that Big 12 championship. However, that's going to be a little tougher for them now because BYU, massive bounce back game here against TCU. They got absolutely embarrassed against Texas State last week, and they came out and it was pedal to the metal, balls to the wall for 4 straight quarters against TCU. Bachmeier, Martin, Parker, we're all just on another level here. 44-13. We'll have some more on the Cougars coming up here in a bit. They get the victory over the Horned Frogs. Notre Dame, if they can just win out now, I think they've officially secured a playoff berth. You go on the road against a good Pitt team that had just worked their way into the top 25. A lot of people had the Irish on upset alert in this one. And instead, they come in there and just dominate Pittsburgh for 4 straight quarters. Carr, Jeremiah Love, Malachi Fields, all just too much for Pittsburgh. And then that defense for the Irish shut down what had been a very good Pitt offense up until this point.
Got the best player in college football on your team.
Yeah.
Number 4.
He's probably Heisman favorite at this point, right? I mean, imagine he's got to be.
He's got to be.
I think it's between him and Mendoza. But yeah, smart strategy. Just give the ball to Love 23 times, let him do the rest. But huge road win for the Irish, 37-15 over Pitt. Ole Miss got into a bit of a battle here with the Florida Gators. Florida came out, gave them a very spirited effort, but a big defensive performance in the second half by Ole Miss, shutting out the Gators, and they scored 14 points unanswered in the fourth quarter to come away with a 10-point victory, 34-24. Kawan Lacey of the Rebels, man, this guy he's special. 31 carries, 224 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Vintage carry job by the running back there. Texas Tech is continuing their dominance over the Big 12. UCF comes to their building and they just stood absolutely no chance. 48-9 is your final for the Red Raiders. Georgia versus Texas. This was a huge game for Texas because this really was probably for their season and the chance to make the college football playoff.
This was a big one.
Had to go into Athens, and I mean, they got outplayed, outcoached in nearly every facet of the game. Georgia just
let's just say they got their asses kicked.
Mhm.
35-10.
Georgia was the way more physical team, way more creative in their play calling. I mean, this is like Texas has a pretty good defensive front, and this offensive line of Georgia just manhandled them, and they were after Arch all game with the pressure, forcing tons of turnovers. They hit him with a surprise onside kick, and it was a bit of a defensive slugfest the first 3 quarters. I mean, it was 14-10 going into the fourth, and then that's when the Bulldogs really just hit another gear and scored 21 unanswered in the fourth to pull away and pretty much scrap any hope of the playoffs this season for Texas.
Forget what I was saying about that Manning moment.
Mhm.
It might come next season.
And now, with this win, Georgia getting a big win against the Longhorns, and Bama dropping their first SEC game of the season. The Oklahoma Sooners come in there and shock the Tide, who were kind of big favorites for this being a top 10 matchup. They come out of there with a 23-21 victory. Bama, a lot of ball security problems. We'll dissect that here in just a minute.
This is an interesting question. You guys think Lane Kiffin is coaching in the NFL next year? Honestly, probably not. I think he probably stays at Ole Miss.
I'm leaning towards him staying at Ole Miss. I just think he's got a really good thing going there. Tons of money, opportunity for money, and a lot of program success.
And you got a young dude,
Yeah.
Chambliss. I mean, that's your guy moving forward. Get him into the league for sure.
I like Kiffin as a coach, but for me, he always just seems like one of those guys that's definitely better as a college coach. I just wonder how he would translate to the NFL,
That's very true.
I think for his best interest, he would probably stay in college. That's just where I think he'd be more successful.
Use your recruiting to get a good team around Chambliss. You don't win that natty this year, watch out for Ole Miss. They could build a pretty nasty squad.
Right. Now, you want to talk about somebody making a good case for their Heisman moment. This has to just shoot him back into the top 3 conversation. Marcel Reed, the Texas A&M Aggies at home, were getting absolutely mollywopped, stunned by the South Carolina Gamecocks. They were down 30-3 at halftime, and they came back and engineered the best comeback in school history and one of the largest comebacks in college history, coming back down 27 to win this game 31-30. Marcel Reed was fantastic. We'll go over his vintage performance here in a moment. And then to round out the top 25, our other 2 undefeated top schools in the country took care of business at home against some bottom feeders in their conference. Wisconsin was unable to beat Indiana. Shocking, I know.
They needed
24 yards from
punts.
the punter wasn't enough. It was all Hoosiers in this one, 31-7.
7 shots.
And likewise, Ohio State was way too much for the Bruins. This game just got out of hand really fast, as you might expect. 48-10. Ohio State gets the victory.
Honestly, if the Packers replace LaFleur with Lane Kiffin, I think we might see even more screens on crucial downs for the Packers.
Although it is interesting you bring up LaFleur getting fired. That is something like I just know there is a little bit of there's some people getting fed up in Green Bay with LaFleur's play calling and they want to see some results in the postseason. He hasn't really past like 5-6 years have been some disappointing results. But K-Man, I think we start with Marcel Reed and Texas A&M and what they did in this game.
They picked up the OC, Colin Klein from K-State.
Yeah.
Great coaching in this one.
I mean, Reed was bad in the first half. He did like 2 interceptions. I believe he lost a fumble as well. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was like 4 giveaways. They were giving up. The defense was struggling. They were giving up lots of explosives. There was an 80-yard touchdown, and this one from Nick Harbor.
They were literally only getting beaten by the big play.
Yeah. Jacobs also ripped off a 50-yard reception, and this one they're putting their defense in tough situations with a lot of short fields as well. And yeah, South Carolina was capitalizing on all those opportunities. But I mean, I'm kind of interested to know what that halftime speech was, because it was a switch got flipped. The defense all of a sudden was getting way more pressure, and Reed was just absolutely locked in. Ended up finishing this game with 439 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, or 439 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. They basically had to kind of give up on the run game for the most part here, and he took over. And I mean, that's a big load to shoulder, right? And he didn't shy away from the moment. I gotta imagine, he didn't play great in the first half in this one, but the way that he rallied, and I mean, he carried basically all that burden of getting them back in this game offensively, because
they didn't even run the ball. They had 64 total rushing yards.
Yeah, it was mostly all his arm in this one, and he got it done. He played a fantastic game in the second half. You look at his receivers, man. Concepcion is so good. He was
58 yards.
$158.
Oh my God.
Bethel Roman,
140 yards. We'll give it to him.
Yeah.
We're rounding up.
He hit a big play late in this one, had a long of 76. One person, really the only person, they got the win, so that's all that matters. Mario Craver kind of disappeared in this one, big. And I think that, that it took with him not being as much of a factor in the offense, I think it took the Aggies a bit more time to get going. But I think there's some people are on the fence, where they think like this is not a great win for the Aggies, where I think this is a
good win. This is what wins you want.
Exactly. I think this really, if you're an A&M fan, this tells you like, okay, this is a championship caliber team, because how easy would it be to be like, oh, we're losing at home, and just to get down on yourself and to come out with no fight in the second half.
They're down 27 points at halftime.
And I mean, they essentially in one quarter erased most of that deficit. It was a 1-score game going into the fourth because of 21 points in the fourth quarter.
It was a pretty good game.
The third quarter, rather. It was a fantastic game for South Carolina. The
defense just got to do a better job at keeping a roof on that thing. Nick Harbor is going to be probably a first-round receiver, I think.
I would say
the stats don't show it, but this 6'5", he's a track star. You saw the 80-yard touchdown. Nobody was catching that guy.
Right.
That was like DK hawking down Buda Baker on that pick.
I mean, he's got a kind of DK Metcalf like build.
He's big, huge too.
Yeah, he's big, strong, got great reach. No, he'll probably be a first-round pick. Like this, you see the speed with that size. That's a tough guy to cover.
Well, they just gotta do a better job keeping the lid on it and let him get his, not on those big plays. Because when you're facing off teams in the playoffs here pretty soon, that's something that'll get you knocked out.
Yeah. So the Aggies looking to finish their season undefeated They got a
Samford.
layup game against Samford at home this week. I mean, you want to say it's a layup game. You never know with this college football season, especially. And then on the road against Texas, who will be looking to play spoiler and maybe think that they have an outside shot to make the playoff if they get a victory there. Yeah, that was easily the best game of the weekend there with for college. That was an incredible comeback. We got back-to-back weeks where it's two top 3 teams kind of got shocked by a lower opponent in their conference and had to rally and come back, and I think that's really important to see, is just to not let that shock from a bottom feeder opponent kind of cause you to collapse on yourself. You're able to rally, because when you're going to be playing a playoff game against another top school, like, things are just going to go wrong, and your team is going to have to regroup and figure out a way to come back from that.
That was the most accurate representation of like bend, don't break mentality that we've seen that we can put on the show here. 27-point deficit.
Well, you mentioned you had a stat about this Arizona Cincinnati game. I'm actually kind of dying to hear
It's actually
what that is.
It's not really a stat. It's just kind of the fact of, like, if this team beat BYU, which a game that they completely let slip. They were winning the entire game until it got led to overtime, 4th quarter drive by the Cougars. And they let this one slip. They're like completely outplayed. Bachmeier was forced to throw 2 interceptions against Arizona. So it was a tough game. It was a trap game earlier in the year. Like, they could honestly be in the driver's seat if they did not not let that one slip to BYU and get pretty much ran all over by Connor Wakeman and Houston, because they were just calling QB draw. That's pretty much Houston's offense this year, is QB draw with Wakeman.
Back-to-back losses against the 2 Cougars of the Big 12 really is what played a huge role in Arizona's fate this season. They've been a really good team, and both of those games were well within their means to win.
Yeah, only a 3-point loss to Houston, even though they kind of got dominated on the ground.
Right, gave up like 240 something. I think Fafita's played pretty well this season. I mean, really, their only bad loss was they got blown out by Iowa State on the road.
Yeah, and they're not what they used to be. 3-4 in the conference. Oh, geez. They were ranked 14 at the time, but they've definitely had a huge collapse. But we'll see what happens in the future for Arizona football. They got a huge game coming up tomorrow. They're playing at UConn in NCAA men's basketball, so I'll be sure to give everyone the pregame on that tomorrow morning on the regular show. What game you want to head over to next? Well, I guess we didn't really cover the Cincinnati-Arizona game at all. We only talked about their season.
Yeah.
Fafita, this is this cleanest game of the year. 23 of 31, 294 and a touchdown.
He's been pretty accurate all season, man. 24 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. And again, another great showing out here by him. Nearly 300 yards through the air. And again, like, this Arizona defense that's very good at generating turnovers. They had Brendan Sorbsby looking really uncomfortable in this one. They got a lot of good pressure on him. He had 2 interceptions. And really, it was just kind of came down to a battle in the trenches. Both teams running the football really well, but Fafita just outplayed Sorbsby, and that was really the huge difference in this one. That in Arizona's ball security is, there were like a lot of like Cincinnati only lost this game by 6 points. And if they could have just taking a little bit of care of the football and gotten some better play out of Sorbsby. He was missing throws. He was pretty inaccurate.
They couldn't really get
And this one,
too many good, like, long possessions.
right. They failed a lot on third down. And just wasn't the best looking effort from them. And they kind of went cold after a really good start to this game. They got off to a good start, 14 points to start off the game, and then Arizona just turned on a different switch defensively, and just really they were really just like, you're gonna have to beat us on the ground. We're not gonna let Sorbsby get outside the pocket. He's not gonna beat us with his legs. Like, you're gonna have to try to get these yards up the middle. And to Cincinnati's credit, they did all right. They did all right at that for the most part. I mean, they had 190 rushing as a team. Toby Walker picking up 119 yards, 119 of those yards. But Arizona was able to just generate far too much more offense.
Way better on
one.
the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Walker had more yards in this one, but they weren't really able to use the run game to keep that possession time and just chew the clock. So I think right when you got the lead 14-7, you might as well start playing a little bit of time and trying to keep the ball in your offense's hands. Your defense needs to be as fresh as possible, and you're playing with the lead, I think.
That's when they really started getting the trouble with, they weren't being very productive on first and second down. A lot of third and longs, and then we just saw the negative plays, and then you got that third down percentage just kept getting worse and worse throughout the game. They were only like 3 of 12 in this one. So, yeah, good win for Arizona, man. If things went a little differently for them in those 2 games earlier in the season, they just executed a little better. Might be having a very different conversation about the Big 12.
Yeah.
And who's going to the playoffs right now. All right.
It's unfortunate they weren't able to just get those couple wins.
Let's talk about those midshipmen. What an impressive win by them. Good bounce back win after they got rocked by Notre Dame the week before. It was really looking like they could have dropped their 3rd straight. They had just lost to North Texas, 2 tough road games back to back. You're finally back home in Annapolis. Yeah, but you got like really good South Florida team coming in here. And I mean, what they did, I think they did a really good job of putting the defense, put it all on Byron Brown. And I mean, he did answer. Byron Brown,
he statted it up for sure.
He had 4 touchdowns. He threw for 327. Through the air, he had 136 on the ground, 2 and 2 on the air and ground for this guy. So it wasn't like he failed to step up, but he got no other support in that running game.
Not stopping the Navy. Just classic run game.
Right.
Battle in the trenches with Navy. They couldn't handle it.
You knew what they were doing, and they still just ran it right down you. Texa, Braxton Woodson, Blake Horvath, Eli Heidenreich. Where it was just, they did a great job of like really just disguising, like, okay, you didn't really know who it was going to each play, but like you knew you had to try to cover one of those 3 guys. And they even got a little creative passing. I mean, Heidenreich had 146 receiving yards in this one. So while they didn't hand the ball to him a lot, they were just sneaking them out into the flat, drawing that defense in and hitting some big explosives just kind of behind the Bulls defense, who were selling out on the run. In fact, he caught an 82-yard pass in this one that set the midshipmen up in a good situation.
That's like the majority of his yards right there, because they only passed it 15 times.
And a lot of the points that they gave up, it was a 41-38 game, but a lot of that came in the 4th quarter. UCF at that point had only scored 16 coming into the fourth, and they scored 22 in the fourth, but then Navy, after going cold, and the third quarter, they bounced back, scored 17 points of their own. Yeah, they were looking at the rest of their schedule here, because I mean that was a big win for them just in general. I mean, they're sitting atop the American standings at 6-1. You've got a couple of other one-loss teams: North Texas, East Carolina, Tulane was still a shot here, and so I mean, it's tough to close out. They've got Memphis, who has slouched off a bit, but was, at one point talking a favorite to win this.
They're still a good team.
This conference, and it's a road game. That's going to be tough. I mean, they've kind of had a brutal stretch of road games here, and then the Army Navy game that they play to close out the season every year. Army will certainly be looking to get a little revenge in this one. Navy took the victory last season.
Tulane's got Temple and Charlotte, their last 2 games of the season.
So bit of an easier schedule for them. North Texas.
Same with North Texas, Rice and Temple.
So not too difficult for them. And East Carolina,
UTSA
and UAB.
Florida Atlantic.
Oh wait, yeah, Florida Atlantic.
Really, Navy honestly can't lose this game to Memphis at all, or they aren't even going to make the conference championship.
That is the tough part.
Holy crap!
They really got to win out, and we'll see. We'll see if they're able to do it. Drop some predictions. You think the midshipmen are able to get it done and get to the CFP? I think it would still be cool to see, but it does seem like it's going to be a very uphill climb. And yeah,
they're in first, but it feels like an uphill climb. That's the weirdest part about it.
I mean, because that's one of the biggest rivalries just in sports in general. So the Army Navy game, that's a huge,
and it's a trap game now at this point. Army, not really much to play for except spoiler.
And Memphis, that's just a tough place to go into and play in the American. I wouldn't want to be them. Moving on over to the ACC a little bit here. I just want to quickly touch on what Virginia did. Huge bounce back for them. Their offense the past 2 weeks had looked really bad. They barely scraped by North Carolina. While despite scoring 31 against Cal, it wasn't super pretty. They got into a dogfight with Washington State. They were, only scored 9 points at home and lost badly to the Demon Deacons. So this looked like a team that was kind of on the verge of a collapse after that Demon Deacons loss. But so to come out and really just handle Duke the way they did. Duke was out of this one for a while. 14 of their 17 points coming in the fourth. So this game was
over.
You're looking at 31-3 going into the fourth quarter. Like Virginia was.
That's garbage time scores right there.
Yeah,
those shouldn't even really count.
So Virginia really was in control this whole game. The defense was great. Mendoza, he was super uncomfortable. I mean, you could just see in his completion percentage. He was 18-35. He was missing a lot of people, rushing these throws. I think he felt some pressure or was hearing footsteps pretty early in this one. They got 4 sacks for the Virginia defense, but they hit the QB a lot as well. And
he couldn't really get comfortable in the pocket.
They were in the backfield a lot too, so they couldn't really get it's hard to get their running back, Nate Shepard, going. I mean, only 43 yards for
8
him.
Tackles for loss.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And then on the other side of the football, they just dominated everywhere. They had 224 yards as a team, 133 coming from Jamari Taylor, who also racked up 2 touchdowns for him. Chandler Morris throwing for 316, 2 touchdowns. Only thing I think he's got to clean up are the 2 interceptions. He was just trying to make too much happen. But they weren't super costly interceptions, if that makes sense. Like they just, for trying to maybe force something downfield in the double coverage and then just kind of not seeing
tight window throws, man, or
yeah,
it's out of a 50-50 ball. I mean, when you're up that big, you're kind of just letting your guys sling it. I think coaches kind of just using that as film learning experiences for as they move on in the season. For Duke on the other side, man, just look for the future. Darian Mensah's a sophomore. Nate Shepard's a freshman. Let's check out Landon King. He's a senior. Jeremiah Hasley, you might have him for another season. But use this offseason to get yourself some solid receivers and some O-line guys to help out Mensah and Shepard. It's not a bad young group. 4-2 in the conference.
I feel like they'll probably have to they'll have to be good at replacing some talent on the defensive side of the ball as well. But
that's really where they're shining this year, just not in this game.
All right. Well, on here, we're going to go talk a little Iowa USC.
What a game right here.
It was.
Prime time, just premium trap game for anyone in the Big 12.
Very Iowa type football where they just
10.
bogged down this game. They ran the ball really well. Gronkowski, or I think that's how you say it, Gronowski rather. 12 and 19 for 132. So they didn't ask him to throw it a whole lot, but he made some good throws when it counted. Did have an interception and 1 touchdown in this one.
12 and 19, I guess that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So then was making the throws for the most part when they needed him to. But again,
average of 7 yards. Oh God.
But dude, again, the 3 M's are just too much. Mayava, Miller, and Mackay. Yeah, dude, Mackay Lemon is having himself a fantastic season. What's the wide receiver award? That's not the Blitnikoff, is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
that is.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be a front runner for that, dude. He is having a fantastic season.
1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 71 catches too.
I think you kind of look at him, you're like, oh, he seems like he might be an undersized wide receiver at 5'11", 195 against these corners in the Big Ten, but he's been just carving them up, man.
Yeah,
nearly 1,100
really
yards, 8 touchdowns. He is such a fantastic route runner. That's what I really like about him.
He outsmarts the defensive guys. I think that's a big part of it too. It's like,
and he's just so crisp coming out of these cuts in this route and everything too. Like he just, it's pretty fun to watch. Think of beauty, really. Then another good game on the Mayava here with 254. He was pretty accurate. And then, man, King Miller was really like 19 carries for 83 yards. He was grinding out yardage for him on the ground. And then they let Byron Jackson vulture goal line touchdowns from him. Byron Jackson.
My gosh.
4 carries on this game. 2 of them were
14
touchdowns.
yards and 2 touchdowns.
He had a long of 9.
On.
So it was like they were just going to him on the goal line. I mean, I want to reward my running back that's been just grinding it out.
I know, right?
All
Especially
football game.
If that long of 9 was a 9-yard touchdown run, why you got the power back in when you need 9 yards to gain? There's still an opportunity to roll out pass, set up something on the outside. Like you could there's a lot more you could do there than just straight up go die hard to the power run. Especially USC. I mean, you got Jaden Mayava.
And that Trojans defense pitch in the second half shutout. That was big time from them there. All right.
What do you say we take a quick music break before we finish up the rest of our college football rundown, HG?
I like that part. And that sounds like a good idea. So stay tuned with us. We're going to go ahead a quick music break. When we come back, we got plenty more college football to break down and crazy week of NFL action. You're watching Till the Final Whistle Football Frenzy. You're on Military Broadcast Radio.
In the proud spirit of America and in the proud spirit of our great country.
Just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Today we gather to honor the men and women who've served in our armed forces. We celebrate their courage, their resilience, and their sacrifices they've made so that we can stand here in freedom. Veterans Day is a day of gratitude, yes, but it should also be a call to action. Because honoring veterans is just about remembering their service. It's about truly listening to their stories. It's about giving them a voice, not just a day of thanks, but a platform, a mic, and a listening ear every single day. For too long, veterans have come home from battles on foreign soil, only to face silence here. They've returned to a society that says thank you, but often doesn't know how to truly engage with them. But we can change that right here, right now. You see, when you hand a veteran the mic, you're giving them something beyond words. You're giving them a connection, purpose, and the space to share what it means to serve, to sacrifice, and to rebuild. You're giving them the chance to turn their thoughts, sometimes haunted and heavy, into words that cannot heal. Because when veterans speak, they don't tell their own stories. They speak for others who might be willing, struggling, in silence. A voice isn't just a sound, it's a lifeline. And when we give veterans that voice, when we make space for their perspectives in our communities and conversations, we're not just honoring their past, we're strengthening their future. When a veteran shares their story, they're not just reliving their past, they're reshaping their future one word at a time. So today I challenge each of us to give a veteran in our lives the chance to share. Listen, to not just reply, but to understand. Let their words sink in and be transformed by their experiences. Because a veteran with a voice is a veteran with power. Power to lead, to heal, and to inspire change. Let's give our veterans more than our thanks. Let's give them the mic, the platform, and our commitment to listen, because then they talk. We all grow. Thank you.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. HG and Caveman back in the house. And let's get into some more games. More college football action. Where do we want to start? Do we want to keep it in the Big Ten? We had a really close game. Another one in the ACC with Georgia Tech, Boston College. Could swing it over there. Got a couple more Big 12 games.
So I want to discuss this Boston College game a little bit too. Again, this was a pretty shocking, final just with how bad Boston College has been all year. They really gave Georgia Tech a lot of problems. But you see a big rally, especially late in this one, 19 points in the fourth quarter by the Yellow Jackets. And yeah, Haynes King, I thought was really good in this one. He was pretty accurate with the football, only 8 incompletions. He's 26 to 34. And
no turnovers.
Took care of the football and got his team down the field. 371 yards passing, only 1 passing touchdown. But then they got it into the red zone and they punched it in with guys like Malachi Hosley. Jamal Haynes got one. Jordan Allen had the big touchdown run. I believe it was a 55 yarder. And this one,
the freshman wide receiver on a little end around, I believe.
Yeah, they just get good play calling, just letting them show off some of that speed. and just try to get them into the open field. So this is another one of those games where, like, you expect Georgia Tech to really win this handily, but you've got Boston College fighting you tooth and nail. And I mean, this was just a really easy one for you to potentially drop. But the fact that they didn't, and then they really were finally able to kind of impose their will over Boston College in the fourth quarter. Look at that. You take away the first three quarters when it mattered the most. 19-6 was your final score. That's how you outscored them. Despite kind of dragging the offense, kind of dragging all day, giving up the defense, giving up big plays.
They just locked it in at the end. Eric Rivers, Malik Rutherford, Malachi Hosley, like just big guys making big plays for this offense. Just making things happen. Haynes King was putting the ball where it needed to be. His guys caught it, or Malachi Hosley found that hole, made the right read in the backfield, and got where he needed to be. And they just locked it in when they needed to.
And could this be a good wake-up call for Georgia Tech? Right? Like, you didn't lose. Like, you're able to still come away with a win, but, like, man, you were playing a 1-10 team, or at that time 1-9 football team that has been just awful all season.
Nothing to lose.
Kind of go on the road and almost lose to this squad. And so now you're like, okay, hey, like, wow, we gotta kind of refocus our energy and our efforts here to finish off the season, because you got Pitt and Georgia, both home games, but two massive games coming up for you to end out the season. Especially when you look at the ACC standings. I mean, you've still got SMU, Pittsburgh, and Virginia, all with one loss. So you got a chance to knock Pittsburgh off out of contention, pretty much, and ward off some competition that way. I believe SMU, they got Louisville, so they've got a chance to lose. But you got to imagine, like, yeah, you've got the Bulldogs coming to you, but that's still a very good team. I think Georgia Tech really could beat them this year, though. I mean, that's going to be, like, this is a better team than what Georgia Tech had last year, and that game went to 8 overtimes. So
their offense is honestly so much different than it was last year too. They were more run first.
Mm-hmm.
Like this year, they're letting Haynes King go out there and throw it 34 times and still get that ground game active too. Their offense is really entertaining.
Tech's got a pretty good offensive line. I think what's going to be key, they're going to have to really handle this Georgia front and
win in the trenches.
Yeah, like
in this one,
Georgia's going to, like what Georgia did, they just kind of big bodied out Texas. I mean, you're going to have to be prepared to play a very violent football game. And
who's going to be more physical?
Yeah,
wins a football game.
Win those battles in the trenches. But
I honestly,
big performance by the Yellow Jackets. I think it was a good wake-up call for them to nearly lose that football game.
Yeah, I think probably prediction. Boston College was predicted to have a little bit better of a year than 1-10. They got a lot of skill guys that kind of went off in this games. Reed Harris is a sophomore. Turbo Richard, he's a sophomore too. Maybe these guys hit the transfer portal at the end of the year, because it was kind of predicted for them to be a little bit better than they were. And like, they're putting on some showings, even though they've lost 10 games. They haven't won a single conference game, but like, these guys are still getting theirs. They could potentially get poached.
Well, to keep it on one ACC team, let's go over the Pitt's game against the Fighting Irish. We mentioned Notre Dame was just a force to be reckoned with.
The best player in college football.
Yep.
That spin move on his 56-yard run, that's his Heisman moment right there. That was like a Barry Sanders cut, HG. That was insane.
It's unreal the way he can move.
We need to get that clip in here.
it's just like his blend of speed, agility, and power is so unique. You don't see usually like a running back that's just got all three at such a high level like he does.
He's insane.
I mean, he can run you over. He'll hurdle you, hit you with a crazy spin move, um, juke you out of your socks, and then you get into the open field, and I mean, you're not hawking him down. He's going to take that to the house if he hits that second level. If he gets behind the defense, it's very rare that somebody's fast enough to catch him. I think somebody else that we haven't been given enough love to rather here on the show for Notre Dame. Malachi Fields has been having a fantastic season, and he's just been the safety blanket for CJ Carr, the true freshman quarterback. And I think that is incredibly important to have. Is like he has just been making himself available for that young quarterback and giving him a sense of security when he drops back to pass. I think that's just so like Carr's had himself a pretty solid season.
That's who I was going to say. We also haven't been giving enough credit to, and because he's really revamped this offense too. They weren't passing nearly at all with Riley Leonard last year.
So you look at like Fields' numbers, they're nothing gaudy. I mean, he's only at 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. But you got to watch a Notre Dame game. And it's like when they need a big time catch, when they need, a third down conversion,
it's him.
Somebody, or, when like Carr is feeling the pressure, he's got to scramble. Like he just always works himself into a spot to be available for his quarterback.
Next year.
Huh?
He needs to be a Bronco next year. I think Mohawk's talking about Malachi.
Malachi Fields. I'll take that, man.
That would be pretty sweet.
Guy that just knows how to get open. I mean, he's got pretty sick physical attributes. 6'4", 223. So
if the Broncos draft a number 1 caliber receiver, though, is Sutton gone?
Nah, we just extended him. So Sutton will still be there, but
Fields would be nice. Would he want out?
Maybe he was talking about Jeremiah Love too. I mean,
that's also true.
I'd put Jeremiah Love back there.
That would be crazy.
I like you, RJ Harvey, but I think like Love would be.
Yeah, Love. He's talked about Love.
He's got a real chance to be a generational talent. Okay, yeah, I like that, dude. Love would be nice for this team. Harvey would still be a great receiving threat. Like, I think he could still do a lot of creative things.
In the running game, I don't know. He's got to find his confidence, RJ Harvey. It feels like he's hesitant to hit the hole when he does get his opportunities. Like Chiefs game, I feel like he could have had a lot more yards if he just hit the hole and attacked and just ran a little bit more physical. But we'll get to that NFL talk later. Certainly. It would be a sick duo with those guys.
You got anything on Pitt here? Because I think Mason, I always mess up his last name, Heinz Stechel, really looked out of his element. And this one, he was kind of coming into, I believe he was filling in for Eli Holstein, who had to leave this game with a bit of an injury. And just neither quarterback really looked super comfortable back there. And the offensive line for Pitt, that shows me some concerns just against a really good defensive front that they would have to play if they made the playoff. I don't think it's going to be a great chance for them. I really think Georgia Tech can beat this team, especially on the road. We've seen teams bounce back after getting, manhandled the week before. But yeah, you look at Georgia Tech, they just seem like they've got a lot more confidence at the right time where Pitt is sort of might be engineering a late season collapse. I hate to say, because they were They were
They
definitely
faced
an
them.
exciting prospect, but like they're still in it. They still only have one ACC loss. So
That was just their second loss at home.
yeah,
They're not a bad team at all.
they really aren't.
They faced a really, really good defense. And Heinzel, like you were saying, just pressured. The one pick that he did throw, the pick 6, was literally in a clean pocket though. Just trying to force a throw, trying to make a play happen.
All right. Well, we're going to talk. These are some blowout games, but they're about some really scary Big 12 contenders here. First, we're going to go with the Utah Utes. And
Huge win.
I mean, they put up 55 points with 103 passing yards. They could not be stopped on the ground. Devin Dampier got hurt briefly in this one. He comes out, and his replacement, Bird Ficklin, comes in, rips off a 74-yard run for a touchdown. I believe he also came in and had another long touchdown run. Yeah, I know he ended up with 2 on the day, 6 carries for 166 yards.
On 6 carries.
Their
insane.
leading rusher on 6 carries.
on 6 freaking carries.
Wayshawn Parker ripped off a 64-yard run. And yeah, Baylor, Sawyer Robertson was throwing it all over the field. They just got down by so much so early, and he was trying to get him back into this one. Had a pick 6 in this one. Ended up throwing another interception, and that was a pretty big pick 6. Elijah Davis ended up taking, I think, 60 yards even on that one. 65. Beg your pardon. Yeah, it was just the big plays out of Utah's offense. I mean, in the way they just absolutely manhandled Baylor up front. I mean, they were just like running through huge gaps all game. And I mean, to their credit, like you look at the passing numbers, and you're like, is that something to be concerned about? And I'm like, I really don't think so, because they just didn't have to throw the football.
No, they didn't have to.
They like to run the ball, and Baylor had 0 answers for it. 380 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground for Utah as a team. They were averaging 8.8 yards a carry. I mean, like if you're a coach at any level, if you're getting 8 yards almost every carry plus multiple explosive run play touchdowns like that, yeah, I'm going to just keep handing the ball off, because we're going to just not give your offense a ton of time to engineer a comeback. I'm going to just take it down the field. I'm probably at least getting 3 every drive if I'm getting almost 9 yards carry in a game.
BYU better not lose these next 2 weeks.
I'm saying, dude, Utah, the past few weeks, my big question for them this season was always going to be their offense. There had been some stretches where that had gone cold, and you look at some of their losses where it just didn't look so great. Against Texas Tech, yeah, I mean, their offense was non-existent, and that took them a while to get going against BYU. But then you look at the past 3 weeks, so obviously some teams not as scary, but they put up a bunch of points on Colorado. They put up a bunch of points on Cincinnati, who was a pretty good team, and then 55 here on Baylor.
Yeah,
I mean, they have
over 100 points in 3 games. It's insane.
I think the big performances against Cincinnati and Baylor are what are sort of starting to give me some confidence in this offense, because you look at it, like they have been scoring a lot of points in games. I mean, like 43, but that's against UCLA, like 63 against Cal Poly, 48 and 42 against West Virginia, Arizona State. But like you look at then they play some top tier competition. That was when the offense would go cold. But I'm just starting to feel like it's looking a lot more consistent, and the defense is playing at another level. I just think they could really, like, they're turning good defense into offense the past few weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they could just be really scary.
They really just need one of these 2 teams to lose out if they want to get into the Big 12 championship, because the tiebreaker goes to both of the teams ahead of them. They lost both their losses are to Texas Tech and BYU.
And
but
say they don't make
the
Big 12 championship.
You got a really young quarterback.
There's still an outside shot. Maybe they make the
that
college football playoff, dude.
12.
I mean, they're just behind Vandy. Who's Vandy got to close out? I mean, Vandy could go down to 3 losses if they lose to Tennessee. We'll see if SEC bias comes and plays a factor there. Notre Dame
might, but
definitely has to win out. They've got Syracuse, Stanford. That's something they should be able to do. We'll see about that though. I'm just trying to see where else if BYU has a bit of a collapse, like say they drop one more, but they still make it to the Big Ten championship. Like they say they get upset by Cincinnati, but they still make it to the college football or the Big 12 championship. They do have the tiebreaker over Utah via head-to-head matchup. But let's say they get, crushed by Texas Tech again. And so all of a sudden you're looking at a 3-loss team. Does Utah get the nod over them? That would be very controversial because then you're punishing a team essentially if you're going to their championship and losing.
Right.
Oh man, I think their best path is for Vanderbilt to drop one, but even that I don't think. Just with the bias there's a good chance Vandy maybe loses too. Kentucky's kind of been playing with a spirited effort these past couple weeks. It looks like they've really found something there. And then, Tennessee obviously is going to probably try to beat them as well. So, I don't know. Let's give me some predictions. Do we think Utah can sneak into the college football playoff somehow? They do got to win the rest of their games. That's the big thing. We don't want to just assume they win out. Kansas State and Kansas to close out. 2 very winnable games. I would feel a little less confident if they had to go to K-State, but they don't. Like that's a home game for them. They've been really good at home too. They've been
They might put up
at home.
Sorry, Mohawk, but Utah might put up another performance like they have done the last 3 weeks.
And then on the road at Kansas. Kansas has just had a real struggle of a season. They are around 5-5. Might be a little tough just going in there to play the Jayhawks, but I think they could really. It's a good shot they close out and win. Now looking at BYU, that's the other big thing is they need BYU to lose twice. The way Cincinnati's been looking and the way the Cougs bounce back, that might be the nail in the coffin for Utah to make it to the championship or the college football playoff. You got, Bear Brockmeyer, I think for the most part this season, like when he's been forced to throw the football, it hasn't been too bad. Texas Tech was kind of ugly. And he, like that game against Arizona, he wasn't great. You look at he put up some big performances against Iowa State. While he didn't have a ton of yards against Utah, he was pretty good with the football. And then this one, throwing 296 yards, got a touchdown as well. He also ran for 59, ran another touchdown in. LJ Martin, God, I really like him too. I'm intrigued.
He's pretty good.
Him as a prospect, as a running back. He's a junior. Does he declare? Does he come back next year? A little bit bigger, like a bigger power type back. But he fits his Utah offense perfectly because you just want to give him the ball and let him run between the tackles. And I'm going to be honest, going into this, I thought there was a decent chance that TCU could upset BYU just coming off of that shocking loss. I thought TCU's had some vintage performances this year. It was a team that, had they not squandered some opportunities, could, maybe be in a very different situation. And I thought Hoover, their quarterback, had been playing pretty well all season, but he just was a train wreck in this one. 10 for 23. I mean, only completed 10 passes. That just shows you how dominant BYU's defense was. 2 interceptions. Yeah, 4 sacks for this BYU defense. I think they got to, I mean, I really think it's possible for them to play like this the next 2 weeks. And it's a road game but against Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's been struggling. I think they can go in there, take care of business against the Cougars. And then you finish your season off against UCF. UCF's been just atrocious in Big 12 play this year. So you probably come away with the 2 big wins there. Get your shot again at Texas Tech.
They could honestly get a chance. They could get another shot at it.
All right, then we got to say, like, thinking about this, like, I mean, even if BYU or Tech loses in the Big 12 championship, I think if both of them make it, they've both got the resume and the performances to be playoff teams, right?
I think so.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Because I'm like, I'm really looking at Georgia Tech to come out of the ACC. I think that'll be our lone ACC team. Really.
Yeah, they kind of closed the door on that.
I mean, you're looking at this like will USC have a chance to jump up? Maybe they're hanging back, and we won't really know until where everyone's at in the college football playoff race until the actual rankings come out tonight. We're just looking at the AP polls right now. I mean, like, is there a chance Oklahoma slips out? I think even if they don't, one of those two doesn't win it, I really think they deserve to be in it. Dude, like, both squads have been really impressive this season. I think, like, BYU, their one loss, while it wasn't great, it was to Texas Tech, Texas Tech might legitimately be a national title contender. I mean, I like the top 3. I like Georgia and Ole Miss. Bama's kind of dropped off a bit for me. They've looked a little shaky the past few weeks. I'm still unsure about Oregon. Like, so I look at the top 5 teams in the country. I like them, and then after that, I like Tech.
That's fair. That's fair. That honestly, I feel like that's how they might rank it today.
Yeah. And BYU, I really think BYU would, like, you put them in there, good chance that just because of how big and physical they are in the trenches, like, that they could shock a team, round 1. Like, they've got a big offensive line. Definitely. They love to just run the football. I mean, like, they can play a style that could just be really frustrating. Say you give them a team like heck, maybe Oregon or even like Ole Miss, like teams that like to kind of be explosive.
That's a game.
Big plays on their offense.
That's a matchup that those teams don't really like.
Right. Like that, they play a style of football that can really frustrate, an air raid style offense.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. That you're making a good case for the Big 12. I like it. They better watch this podcast when it goes up.
I think they really they deserve to have, 2 teams out there. Now we're going to round out our top 25 discussions with a couple of SEC matchups here. I'll start with this Florida Ole Miss game. This is why I really like Ole Miss, though, because they do, like I said, they're very explosive. Florida gave them a very spirited effort, though. You got some in the first half. I mean, they scored 24 first half points. It looked like, oh man, this might turn into a shootout. Ole Miss, while they've got a really solid defense, I have never really thought it was the strong point of their team, but the defense was really great in the second half. And then they just got behind Kawan Lacey. I mean, Chambliss still had a solid game with 301 passing yards, but dude, the 224
yards,
3 touchdowns. Kawan Lacey is, I mean, as a sophomore, he's already a top 10 back in the country, I think, which
Easily.
maybe top 5. I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of 5 guys better than him. Just like what he's been able to do against his level of competition. It's such a young player, dude. I mean, he is 3rd in the country in rushing yards. You look at the guys ahead of him, like Ahmed Hardy, who, yeah, obviously he's a beast. Jeremiah Love is just behind him. You've got Emmett Johnson from Nebraska, who's been pretty solid. I mean, like, Cam Cook is the only other guy ahead of Kawan Lacey, and he plays for Jacksonville State.
Man.
Like Lacey and Hardy, Love, they've been doing it against really great competition. I like blanking on his name from Texas Tech, Cameron Dickey. I like him too. He's probably up there in around my top 5, but yeah, it's hard to as just a sophomore. I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of 5 running backs better than Kawan Lacey. Let me know if I'm crazy, if you disagree with me.
I don't think you are, HG. I think he's one of the guys.
Mohawk chiming in here a little bit. I think BYU would have to win conference to get into the playoff. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Mohawk too, is like, I think they're not going to reward them for that. It's like I mean, if your only 2 losses are to Texas Tech though this season, like like at that point, it would be better for them to not make the conference championship game. Like essentially you'd be like, I feel like they'd have better chances of being just a 1-loss team that didn't make their conference championship.
Yeah.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, they got an oil tycoon, dude.
They're putting that money to good use. All right. You can't argue with the results. But yeah, Old Miss is definitely looking like a contender for me. I mean, what a crazy story with Chandless, the Division II transfer. He's probably, I mean, just because of all of his years in D2, he's a senior now, so he's probably going to the draft. I mean, I think he's a great dual threat quarterback. So I think you get him with a really good offensive minded type of head coach.
Yep. It is real.
See. Yeah. That's what I'm worried about. I mean, we didn't get a ton of SEC bias last year, and I think it was good. Like Bama not making it, being a 3-loss team because they had some pretty bad losses. I think that was a good thing.
It was a lot more fair last year. That is true. The ranking was a little bit more lenient.
Yeah. I'm looking at like there's so many good 2- and 1-loss teams here. Obviously, you're going to probably have to make room for James Madison. They're going to be one of those teams in there too.
That's probably the 12 right there.
Man. Right.
So it makes it even harder for like Utah to make it in because they can't really get that seed. It's going to have to go to another group of 5.
Going to have to see how things shake out here. I got last note on this Old Miss for the game. Kind of just ended how you expect with the DJ Lagway interception, just putting it to the bed. It's been the story of their season. I got to imagine he transfers. Where does he go? And Florida just tries to start over anew this season. All right. This game turned into a blowout, but we got to just talk about, I mean, Georgia really is just their title odds, I think, have really shot up.
Skyrocketed after this game.
I mean, you got like how you're feeling as Georgia as a national title favorite, how your stock is on that had to go up. I mean, you got to be feeling good about that.
Gunnar Stockton.
I mean, Kirby Smart, one of the only head coaches left in college football that's actually won the national title. Him, blank the OC's name, something Bobo, isn't it? I can't like Mike Bobo.
Oh yeah,
and
Sweeney.
Yeah, like a master class in coaching from all 3 of them. Arch saw so many like different exotic looks. He was like they really sent a lot at him. He was pretty inaccurate, only 251, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then again, like their run blitzing and just how disciplined they were up front. You got nothing out of this Texas run game. After all the sack yardage is factored in, 23 yards total.
Yeah, Quintrevian Wiesner was just bottled up.
Yeah.
And they didn't even try to even really run it. Only 9 carries for them.
Yeah. They
were down.
They were just seeing it like Georgia they were sending a lot of stacked box looks, but then they were dropping it out in the coverage. I think so. They were really discouraging Texas from running the football while also still, disguising it and dropping it back out into coverage. So it's just, like I said, just on all 3 phases, just masterclass coaching. They ran the ball really well late in this one. Like their run game was off to a slow start on this one a bit too, but down the stretch, I mean, they just, in that fourth quarter, they just ran it down Texas' throat and then scored. And then Gunnar Stockton, man, he was fantastic in this one. I'll take away the one interception because I think that was, that one kind of got tipped a little bit. It wasn't that much his fault. 229, 4 touchdowns.
You had 5 incompletions, dude.
Right, super accurate, just dealing that football all game. The way, I just think this was such a complete team win from Georgia on like all 3 phases. Really, the only area they kind of struggled was not even really in the. They weren't super great in their returns. Like they didn't get a ton of big yardage there. They had a nice one from Zachariah Branch. He got a 44-yard return. And then they also were just great at bottling up Ryan Niblett from Texas, who's been a dangerous returner all season. They were great. So just on all 3 phases win, and then you just watch. I mean, Sarkisian and his staff were just wholeheartedly outmatched against Kirby Smart and his staff. That's where it's like that experience of that championship battle of Kirby Smart. Despite some of the times this Georgia team seemed vulnerable, man, he's rallied those guys and pulled them, found a way to help them pull off all these close victories. And I think they're really starting to just click on all 3 phases at the right time, man. You look at that, that game against Ole Miss, and now this one against Texas. You're going to have Charlotte. It's going to be a very difficult game against Georgia Tech, though.
They got it. Yeah, they end the season with the tough one. That matchup is getting harder and harder.
That is going to get your popcorn for that. That might be
game of the year, last game of the season.
It's going to be up there. I mean, it was up there. Excuse me. It was like a game of the year last year.
8 overtimes
in Athens. Yeah, the 8 overtimes. Could easily be the same situation there. All right, then we got Alabama taking on Oklahoma. Second loss for the Tide here, and the Sooners, I mean, keeping their playoff hopes alive. And yeah, I mean, you just go over to the team statistics here, because you look at Bama had 406 total yards of offense. They only committed 2 penalties all game. They were better albeit marginally better on 3rd down. They also had, 2 big 4th down conversions, but the turnovers just killed them. Got them into a 10-0 hole going into the second half, or the second quarter rather. They were down 3 at halftime, and then their defense held up really well against Oklahoma's offense. I mean, only 212 yards of total offense for Oklahoma, 23 points. But Simpson looked pretty inaccurate in this one. I mean, he was just missing some easy throws. And then he had the interception. There was a muff punt.
Yeah.
The fumble got taken back for a touchdown.
So many missed opportunities and just giveaways.
Yeah. Or actually, there was a pick that the lone pick that Tim Simpson threw rather was the one that got returned for a touchdown. Yeah, like Bama just, that's why I don't know, man. The past few weeks, Simpson was looking like a Heisman candidate early in the year, and now it's It's been some like
had a rough stretch.
Inaccuracies. He seems like he's getting a little rattled under pressure too much. Yeah, and he's just like missing throws that I just wouldn't expect from him.
It's a game where Alabama had 34 minutes of possession to Oklahoma's 25. Like, they're really just messing up their own. They're just shooting themselves in the foot. Not a lot of penalties from Bama, but just couldn't really get accurate in the passing game. And your running game was only in like short. They were power runs up close to the end zone.
Yeah. I just think the Tide have been looking shaky. I'm not quite out on them. We've seen them be very dominant this season, and they beat 4 straight ranked opponents in a row. Some of them in some pretty convincing fashions. Tennessee, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, this one's just a tough loss.
And then it was just like barely escaping South Carolina, LSU. If their offense wasn't so anemic, could have probably won that game against them. And yeah,
they outgained Oklahoma by almost 200 yards in passing and just total yards.
Right.
How did they even lose this?
I mean, you've ended the season Eastern Illinois. Trap game at Auburn. Like that.
I know. They got the. That's not an easy game to end the year.
I just feel like, dude, if you drop that one against Auburn, now we have to start having some uncomfortable conversations. If teams like Utah and BYU, Virginia, Michigan, USC, if they're all sitting at Miami, even if they're all sitting at 2 losses, like, I mean, come on, are we a Bama team that's been on the decline? Are we really going to just like put a 3-loss Bama team that's been struggling to end the season in over some of these squads?
I think they're going to let it. I think Alabama stays just because of their conference record or their conference schedule. At Georgia, Vandy, at Missouri, Tennessee, at South Carolina, and then LSU, Oklahoma.
Big news from Joel.
Nearly.
The Roku is fixed for anybody that is trying to watch on Roku.
Any Roku viewers, it's all up now.
Hey, Strain, hope you're enjoying your cruise and having a relaxing vacation. I don't really know.
He's back.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think he's back in town now.
Nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed it.
Having fun.
Yeah, nobody deserves a vacation more than him.
I'll show you some of the pictures he was taking on Facebook when we was on break.
I saw the one with the dolphin. That was.
Oh yeah, that one was cool.
That was cool.
That one was cool.
Yeah, I mean, let us know, man. Bama is a 3-loss team, and you've got like a number of ACC, Big 10, and Big 12 teams with only 2 losses. Like, can we really justify putting Bama, like not putting them in there a third year or for a year, another year? I do not envy the playoff committee.
No, they got a lot of great teams to choose from.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of the viewers will be, unsatisfied with any of the matchups, but the diehard fans of these schools will.
No matter what teams make it into the playoffs, people are going to be upset. That's just, I just know that's going to happen. All right. We're going to wait until the CFP rankings come out tonight, and we'll cover those tomorrow on the show. That'll give us a better chance about where everyone's going to be at in the playoffs, and we can start mocking up some potential playoff brackets as well. We're going to take a look ahead before we go on music break here, though. So what we got going on in the top 25 next week. We're going to start at the bottom here because we got Cincinnati still hanging on to that 25 spot in the AP poll. We'll see where they actually finish in the
put Arizona
in the college football one. I mean, honestly, at this point,
put Arizona.
They got BYU home game for them. They might be looking to play a little spoiler, but yeah, the Cougars are looking really good. I think they might just maul the Bearcats in this one. Tennessee's got to go to Florida. Florida looking to probably play a little spoiler. I think Tennessee just wants to finish the year strong. Definitely don't want to lose anymore. Maybe they can, if other teams collapse, they're probably still playing to have an outside shot at getting a shot at the playoff, but they are the 23rd ranked team in the country right now. Another massive game that we got coming up here. This is going to be Pittsburgh playing Georgia Tech.
Oh,
huge
see
game
if Pitt bounces back.
on the road for Pitt. I mean, how are they going to contain Haynes King, who's, got 3,000 scrimmage yards
Holy
this season?
crap.
2,259 passing, 807 rushing, 24 total touchdowns on the year. It'd be interesting to see, can Pitt get a bounce back? Georgia Tech get the double-digit wins on the season. Michigan going on the road to Maryland. Should be a game they win. Maryland 1-6 in Big Ten play. The Wolverines still trying to find some success with their freshman quarterback. All right, Kansas State going to Utah. The Utes looking to continue the roll. Will that defense, Avery Johnson has been playing really well this year, but that Utah defense has been dangerous all season. They'll be looking to get after Avery in this one.
Home game too, man. I think
the home crowd behind
that case.
Iowa trying to get a rebound after dropping 2 straight. They got Michigan State this week. Home game for them. Michigan State got some exciting young talent and everything, but they're 0-7 in Big Ten play. And
they need some more time. Unfortunate.
Yeah. I think just on the road, young quarterback against this Iowa defense is going to be a little too much for the Spartans. Kentucky game, I'm putting Kentucky against Vanderbilt. I'm putting the Vanderbilt on upset watch here. It is a home game for Vandy, going to be in Nashville, but Kentucky's been showing some spirited effort past few weeks. Really seems like they've got some things figured out on the offensive side of the ball. 9.5-point favorites for Vandy, but I could definitely, that might be, if you're better, I might take Kentucky in the points. I think I could see them causing them some problems.
The spread on that is a little too big.
Let's see. Although Vanderbilt is coming off of a bye week. All right. Texas is going to be hosting Arkansas. They'll definitely be looking to get a bounce back win against them. Taylor Green might give we've seen him kind of explode against some good defenses, might give Texas some problems, but they're definitely I think Texas will probably come away with a win there. Notre Dame hosting Syracuse. Should be all Irish in this one. They're just a much more talented team. You've got a massive game here in Eugene, Oregon. The Ducks are going to be hosting USC. I think the winner of this game holds on to any outside chance of making the Big Ten championship. And if Ohio State or Indiana somehow drops one, USC, this game's even bigger for them. This could knock either squad potentially out of the playoff or really just hurt their playoff chances. So that's the biggest one to circle here. That is just an absolutely massive Big Ten matchup there. South Florida is going to be looking to get a rebound against UAB. I'd say their playoff and American title hopes are just about finished, though. So they're just plans for pride at this point. Bama looking to get a bounce back against Eastern Illinois, home game for them. It's one of those layups against a Division II or FCC school or FCS school. Same thing for Georgia. Georgia's got Charlotte, one of the worst teams in college football currently this year. In the FBS, they're 1-9, having a really tough schedule, and then they got to go to Athens, play a Georgia team that's on fire. SMU hosting Louisville. Circle this one, man. SMU is still playing for ACC title contention. Only one loss in conference, 2 7-3 teams. Louisville at this point is just looking to play spoiler. They've dropped 2 straight conference games. I don't really see a path for them in there. So at this point, maybe they can play for some pride, look to spoil it for one of their conference rivals. That should be a big game there in the ACC. Miami got to go to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech not been too great this year. They did take Miami down to the wire last year. We'll see if we get similar results there at Lane Stadium. I feel like Miami should take care of the business there. Oklahoma playing Missouri. Bit of a trap game here. Mizzou, might be getting healthy. I think the big question mark is, is their QB. Like, what is his health going to be like? Bo Pribla, is he going to be healthy? So we'll see. Kind of have to watch the news on that. But if he's healthy, I think the Tigers will certainly give some problems there to the Sooners.
A little bit of a run for their money for sure.
Indiana's going to be on a bye this week, finally getting some rest. Ohio State taking on Rutgers. That's a home game in Columbus. Should be a easy victory for the Buckeyes, the way they're playing. And then A&M, it's another home game here. Kyle Field taking on Samford. Again, should take care of business against them. And both of those teams looking to go to 11-0. All right, well, let us know what matchups you're looking forward to next week here in college football. We're going to go ahead, hit another music break, and just get some refreshments, get reamped up for some NFL football, and break down what's coming up there. So you're watching Till the Final Whistle, Football Frenzy here on Military Broadcast Radio.
I swear this mountain air can almost get me high. Whispers of wildflower fields, sharp scent of pine. The mist clings to the treetops while I sit here alone. I'm stuck thinking of you, chasing old ghosts. Leave me here with your voice in my head. Dreams in the dresser, hopes under the bed. On the side of this mountain, pain far away. Scatter our ashes, throw the rings in the lake. We reach the peak, tried to turn around, but we got lost on the way down. When it's like a rush, clearing my mind. Too many memories to drown, not enough wine. Leaves change with each season, snow turns to rain. The reasons you left me are always the same. Leave me here with your voice in my head. Dreams in the dresser, hopes under the bed. On the side of this mountain, pain far away. Scatter our ashes, throw the rings in the lake. We reach the peak, tried to turn around, but we got lost on the way down. Leave me here with your voice in my head. Dreams in a dresser, hopes under the bed. On the side of this mountain, ain't far away. Scatter our ashes, throw the rings in the lake. We reach the peak, try to turn around, but we got lost. Oh, we got lost on the way.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. And it is about that time to head over to the NFL 2025 season. Week 11 has just passed us. Saints took a loss to the bye week. I'm going to make this quick because I'm a fan that's looking at the draft. I'm looking ahead to what's going to happen in the 2026 draft. And there's a few guys. If we go the offensive lineman route, there's a couple options that I've been taking a look at recently. One of them, I think we could use a center. He could be a good depth piece behind Eric McCoy and Will Clapp. Be a great learning opportunity for him to come in. But he's a great pass protector, which I think we got a young quarterback. Both of them have been getting pressured a whole lot this year. So I think a good pass protecting center to lead the offensive line group and learn behind some pretty good veteran offensive linemen. And I mean, there's a chance that they do end up being injured again next year. We get this guy. He could be starting pretty early. But like I was saying, he's a great pass blocker. He's got good IQ of the game, which sometimes I think it makes him get a little bit over aggressive when sometimes he tries to use his upper body strength a little too much because he's great core strength. That's what makes him such a good pass blocker as a center. But he just tries to overdo it. I think sometimes he should use his IQ to try and reset his feet a little bit in the pocket. And like he's ready for that next level. I think he's got NFL level IQ. Despite Florida's record being pretty bad, I think he's a pretty bright spot in their offense. And another dude I think would just be crazy in our run game is this guy from Utah, man. They got a 6'6" tackle on Utah. And this kid runs a 4.9 40. Spencer Fano. Man, imagine that guy. I mean, if we could get some good blocks in front of Devin Neal and Kamara and Kendra Miller next year, pull him, put him at inside as a guard and pull him. Oh, he's so fast. That's going to be he's going to lay some people out in the NFL. He's currently the number 1 ranked offensive lineman. So could be going to the Titans. But that's all I really got for the Saints. Bye week beat us. We lost 67-0.
Tough one. Yeah. Tough one against the bye. Well, what else happened around the NFL this week? Well, Thursday Night Football. No surprise here. The Patriots all over the Jets, 27-14. Justin Fields officially getting benched after this performance. And the Travion Henderson, you could have called last week his coming out game, but then he comes out and answers it with a hat trick in this one. And I'm just smiling through tears because I dropped him off of my team after he was burning a hole in my roster for 9 straight weeks. And now he's just going off. It took Ramondre Stevenson's fat, out of shape, fumble prone ass getting hurt for them to finally give Travion a chance. And it was right after I gave up. That's fantasy football for you folks.
Yep.
Sometimes
that's how it happens.
Yeah. All right.
He killed him though. 62 yards on the ground. Still got 3 touchdowns. Excuse me. Drake May under no pressure at all. No Quinnen Williams was just rough for the Jets defense.
Yeah, May just sat back there, picked them apart. 25 of 34, 281. touchdown. Had a couple of good scrambles. And then Henderson, 3 total touchdowns. He caught one. Stephon Diggs just running all over the Jets secondary. You had the Jets turning the football over with a bad Justin Fields fumble. It was like his 87th in like the past 4 years. Like just nobody's fumbled the football more than Justin Fields. It's since that time in that time frame. It's actually ridiculous. It wasn't even like terrible in this one. I mean, only 116 passing yards, but he also ran for 67 yards, had 1 touchdown through the air, 1 on the ground. But New York is they're in a rough spot. They'll be looking at quarterbacks this draft. I think it's going to be Tyrod Taylor running out the rest of the season for him. Well, what else happened in the league this week? The Dolphins and Commanders went to Madrid and probably turned a lot of Spanish people off the football. This was a pretty bad game, 16-13.
Unless you
Dolphins
like
get the
Devon
win.
Achane.
Yeah, Devon Achane.
That's all you can look forward to.
Was all over the field in this one. Bro, just when we were all giving up on Bryce Young as a quarterback, this guy comes out and throws for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns. Shout out Ted McMillan on my bench in the NBR Fantasy League. Him and Sean Tucker just burning the hole in the bench spots there. That was cool. Still got the victory, though. We're good. But
what a game from Bryce Young.
Yeah.
31-45.
Gets the overtime victory for the Panthers. Dude, Carolina is 1 game out from first place in the NFC South.
I'm actually about to predict that they might win the division.
There's a good shot. We'll take a look at the standings and everything coming up here in just a bit.
This game was just BS, though. If you're a Falcons fan, watching Michael Penix get injured, but he was still healthy enough to have his pads on, like I feel like you should just be on the field at that point.
Well, he's got a knee injury too, so it's gonna miss extended time apparently.
It's like at that point, just have him go to the locker room.
Yeah. Falcons, wow, what a disaster season. Complete opposite of what they were expecting from this year. 3-7. And they got swept by the Panthers.
There's like a few things you can hang your hat on.
Bijan Robinson and Drake London.
I mean,
it's bad. The defense has been getting a lot more pressure. That's about it.
What do you do? What do you do with the quarterback? I feel like they should keep going with Penix.
Right. I mean, he needs to play in the preseason next season. That's what he has to do.
Yeah.
Keeping it on an NFC South team, the Buccaneers dropped their second straight one to an AFC East team. Vintage Josh Allen performance after a couple of turnovers early. The week I trade him away in the NBR Fantasy League, he goes off for 6 touchdowns. That's just
I don't even think Mohawk started him.
Did he not? No, he did.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right. My team still got the victory, and now I'm playing Holly's banged up squad. But
he took out the number 1 seed this week.
44-32, Buffalo gets the victory. Despite my fantasy woes, they do just fine.
This was a bounce back game from this secondary in Buffalo. They did a pretty good job containing Ibuka, only 40 yards receiving. They were really just getting gashed by Sean Tucker in the run game. Power run game is where they kind of got dominated in this one.
Just giving up some big runs. They didn't really, their longest pass, the long on the day for the Buccaneers was 28. So it wasn't like there was a lot of explosives in the pass game. That was just the Sean Tucker screen pass that he housed. You said they were getting hit with some big rips on the ground early, but the defensive front really bowled down late in that one and shut down Tampa Bay. The Texans and the Titans and another slop fest. Davis Mills versus Cam Ward. Ward's just got nobody to throw to.
Nothing to work with.
Yeah. Unable unable to get their second win on the season. The Texans sneak out of there with a victory. One they definitely need to keep pace here in the AFC if they want a shot at maybe the division or at least a wild card spot. So 16-13, 1-9 the Titans are on the season. Number 1 overall pick, but you got a quarterback, so that's a luxury you have. All right. Dude, the cardiac Bears do it again. Trailing late in this one. Caleb gets him down the field, and Cairo Santos walks it off to sneak past the Vikings and avoid getting swept. Big road victory for the first place in the NFC North. Chicago Bears, 19-17.
I don't know how.
The Eagles-Bears alliance this season's been crazy because the Eagles beat the Vikings, they beat the Lions, and they beat the Packers this season. The Bears have beaten the Giants, the Commanders, and the Cowboys.
Man, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
For real. So
McCarthy's 2 first half interceptions too, like
killer. Yeah, I don't. Where's 9 at McCarthy? We haven't seen him in a while. Missing, got some missing posters out of Minnesota for number 9.
That's going to be almost as close to Broncos country. Let's ride.
Yeah.
If he keeps going at this rate.
Oh, that's going to be constantly thrown in his he said that like that was a nickname he gave to himself too. Like that's just
has he always worn 9? I mean, I guess it's like
it's just such cornball activity to be like, oh, let's trying to like give yourself a nickname before you even proved anything in the league is ridiculous. Nicknames are earned, they're not given.
Oh man. If only he had 9 interceptions. He has 8. I guess next game if he throws 1 interception.
I think he's got 9 turnovers on the season.
He's telling us how many picks he's going to throw before he finally gets benched again.
How many passes he's going to complete in the game. All right. Moving on here. Packers get a good bounce back win against the destitute Giants. Famous Jameis wasn't able to get it done against this defense. Jordan Love lost Josh Jacobs early. He also got hurt, but made some big throws late in this one. Packers come away with a road win, 27-20. The Bengals had one heck of a fourth quarter collapse. They were only trailing by 8, and then they somehow gave up 2 touchdowns in such quick succession went from a 20-12 game to a 34-12 game. And that would end up being the final score the Steelers win by, keeping themselves a game in front of the Ravens, although they're going to have no Aaron Rodgers next week against the Chicago Bears, more than likely. Fractured wrist, won't require surgery, but his status for the game is certainly in jeopardy. This is a bit of a shocker here, just with how the Jags looked last week, blowing that huge lead. Didn't do it this week. They came out and just dominated the LA Chargers 35-6. Fun little tidbit. Ever since the Chargers took a 27-0 halftime lead over the Jags, they have outscored them 66-9 in that time frame. The Jaguars have, after coming out of halftime in that game, they were down 27-0, and their next 2 meetings, 66-9 is how they've been outscored.
Oh my gosh. It's something personal with the Jags and the Chargers now, I guess.
I guess they just have their number. Herbert he's going to die behind that offensive line. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not looking good. All right, dude, this was a battle for first place in the NFC East, and that Rams defense is getting ferocious. They had Sam Darnold seeing ghosts out there again. This was Jets Sam Darnold, man. 4 interceptions. Despite that, I mean, the Seahawks defense kept him in it, but it came down to Josh Myers having to drill a super long field goal. I believe it was 64 yards, and he wasn't able to get it. LA holds on for first place in the NFC East, 21-19. And then
I don't know how it was that close.
yeah, a testament to how good Seattle's defense is, really. All right, the Cardinals hosting the 49ers. It was an even week this week, so that means the 49ers get to win, and they move up to 7-4, 41-22. We will discuss a little bit of what Jacoby Brissett did in this game because it was absolutely insane.
Broke a record.
Yeah, he broke a record. More on that coming up. The Ravens got into a bit of a dogfight with the Browns. Shador Sanders finally saw the field. We'll talk about his debut. But the Ravens hang on. Cleveland, always a place they have a tough time playing in. And it looked like they might be on the verge of getting upset here. Hold on to win 23-16.
They're back at 500. That's
one game
insane.
behind the Steelers, who are now missing their starting quarterback. And they still get to play the Steelers twice. So that's big. All right, the Chiefs going to Mile High. They weren't ready for the Bo Nix extravaganza, man.
HG can't wait.
Oh yeah, I'll have a lot to talk about in this game. The refs definitely wanted to try to help the Chiefs get a victory, get to 500, but Denver's defense with no Surtain and no Alex Singleton, still too much for him. And yeah, both played a really good game. And we saw Mahomes probably have one of his worst games of the season. You know, he's having a really good season. He's like top 5 in the league in passing yards. It's nearing, 3K passing yards pretty quickly. But Denver really limited him and shut him down this week. But Broncos win it on another walk-off field goal. The fourth quarter kids do it again, 22-19. All right. The Eagles just absolutely manhandled the Lions offensively. Yeah, this was a pretty boring primetime game, though. I can't lie to you. 16-9. Philly gets the victory.
Yeah, I turned on the NBA games.
Yeah, vintage
in the Bronco game.
So vintage Eagles win where the offense plays pretty poorly, but they just the defense just dominates. Jalen Phillips is looking like a scary signing for that Eagles pass rush.
I know that was a huge trade for them.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say, the big explosive runs with Saquon. He feels like he's getting closer and closer every week, which is a concerning sign for the rest of the league. And then on Monday Night Football, the Cowboys get a big bounce back on the road against the Raiders, just cruise the victory. Dak Prescott tosses 4 touchdowns. They bench George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb for the first drive, which was basically the equivalent of, when Patrick and SpongeBob stole a balloon on Free Balloon Day. That type of punishment for whatever they did. And
you do the crime, you gotta do the time.
Cowboys, cruise to victory on Monday Night Football, 33-16. Okay, man, where are we starting this week?
I kind of want to save that Bronco game for a little bit later on. What do you think?
I'll save the best for last.
That's a good idea.
I don't even really have anything to say on this Madrid game.
It was boring.
Two bad teams in a weird, overseas. Those games are always weird. Miami this is basically the Commanders won more out of this game because they're going to have a better shot at a higher draft pick, basically. So you got there. Mike McDaniels keeps his job safe for another week, I suppose. Same thing with this Texans game. This is just really an offense that was missing their starting quarterback, struggling, while an offense that has no weapons struggles against the number one team, or number one defense in the NFL. 2 16-13 games. Where it's just like, two undermanned teams just come out of a dog fight in a defensive matchup. I think we'll go to this. This game was a bit defensive, but there's definitely some playoff implications and things to digest from both squads here. Vikings Bears.
Oh, this game. How was it that close in the first half, despite those 2 picks?
The Vikings defense is they had some bad weeks back to back. They gave up like a ton of points against and yardage against the Eagles and the Chargers, even the Ravens. I mean, really, they've been playing a little bit better though. They played well against the Lions, got a victory there. I mean, really, it's on McCarthy, man. He just does not look at all ready to be out there again, struggling. Both quarterbacks were 16 to 32 in this one, but Caleb, big difference, protected the football, made some big plays with his legs. He is so elusive. Did you see that? Like that unblocked nickel blitz, and he just spun him out of his shoes.
That spin move was filthy.
Dirty, man.
That spin move was filthy.
Bears defense is playing really well, generating turnovers. They're like one of the best teams in the league at generating takeaways. Kept them in this game, and yeah, Caleb got him. They kind of gave up a lead in the fourth. They were up 16 to 3 going into the fourth quarter, but then they gave up 14 points.
Yeah, and they had to get a game-winning drive.
Had to drive it down the field, but Caleb's has been good in those game-winning situations, getting them. He's protecting the football. I think he's like his play at quarterback hasn't like blown me away. He's still a little inaccurate. He's not putting up like tons of yardage all the time. I mean, this game he only had 193, no touchdowns, 13-4 touchdown interception ratio on the year. But he's protecting the football a lot better this season. And the line's giving him some more protection. And then he's this is, I think, the big reason why you drafted him is like his escapability and his ability to extend plays have been huge.
Really good off schedule,
especially in these late game situations. Like he's so good at like not taking these sacks and turning what could be a massive negative into at least somewhat of a net positive or an overall positive. So like Chicago just as a team, like nothing jumps really off the page. They were, decently efficient on third down, 7-18.
This was a real physical game, man.
Just
they're both 16 to 32.
NFC North football, man.
Yes, 21 carries, 90 yards for Swift. I mean,
yards were hard to come
really
by.
A tough back, but that's grinded out 90 yards right there.
Yeah, for real. I mean,
he had to work for.
They relied on him. Some bad drop passes, especially from Jordan Addison in this one. And then McCarthy he is just taking a lot of risks with the football. Like I appreciate some aggression from him, but he is really not reading defense as well. And
the first one, I'll give it to Kevin Byard. He's league's leading interception right now.
No, Byard's sick.
He made an insane play on that ball, turned his hips on a dime, and high pointed that pass. Like that was nearly a layered throw.
Yeah.
The
Nashawn Wright interception was good too. I mean, like I don't like the decision because I mean you're like I just don't like where he put the ball. Like I mean, if you're gonna throw that 1-on-1 in the end zone, I mean you gotta throw it to where it goes out. Like you gave the DB a chance to make a play on that. You gotta like back corner towards the sideline. Either my guy gets it or nobody gets it. Like
out of bounds or touchdown.
Yeah, like you just. Like honestly, in that situation, that was an underthrown pass, and Wright made a great play on the ball.
Shout out to Coach Beam.
Yeah, I gave a
little
bit
to
of a
Coach
tribute
Beam,
to him. Chicago, though, man, first place in the North. Can they hold on? That'll be the question. I don't know. I mean, they still got to play the Packers twice. Still got the Lions one more time. I got the Eagles coming up. Like, will they agree to just make that game a draw because of like the alliance? I mean, there has been the alliance between Eagles and Bears this season. It's been kind of crazy. Got the Niners still, but the Steelers are winnable. I think they can at least get a game on the Packers. I really do. This team. Got
They
the
got a
Browns
chance,
coming up.
man.
We'll see how. The Lions certainly showed some vulnerabilities against Philadelphia.
I think we keep it in the North in this one, because I think Mohawk might actually be right. Packers might get swept by the Bears this year.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
Because their gap discipline against the run is so bad, dude. Even when they have Micah Parsons down on the line, he will try too hard to get over that hump and like try to pass rush around the edge, and it leaves that gap wide open. So it's just a wide open cutback lane for the running back. Their integrity in the gaps is just, it's rough against the run. And you got Monin guy and Swift. I mean, it might just be a two-headed monster backfield just running all over the Packers.
Yeah, they've and they haven't been terrible all season. I mean, they've only given up 968 on the season. So I mean, they're like better than teams like Denver, Kansas City, Tampa, Steelers. I see what you're saying. The past few weeks, it just feels like they've been giving up some bigger run plays. They're all right against Saquon, but I don't like how much Singletary and Tracy ran on them. 142 yards.
It's like when they don't load the box, they don't really stop the run. But when they're making it an impact, they're making it like a weekly game plan to stop the run, then they'll do it. They'll stuff you. Yeah. But if they're more worried about, Jameis Winston might give the ball up a bunch, so we might want to just mess him up, muck him up a little bit with some different coverage looks, and then they got kind of gashed on the run by Tyrone Tracy and Singletary.
Gotta hope Josh Jacobs is. He avoided a major injury according to Tom Pelissero, which is really good for them. You just gotta hope he can be back for you soon and still doesn't have to miss multiple weeks. He's questionable for this week. I think there's a good chance he probably plays, but he's going to be a little bit of a snap count. We kind of saw this offense really struggle without him back there. They eventually got some stuff going with Wilson rather. And yeah, Love was, 13 of 24 for only 174. He wasn't super accurate in this one, but he, had that nice throw to Watson. Watson made the spectacular catch, and ultimately they got it together at the end of the game, which is all you can ask for. It does make me nervous about how they're going to perform in some. We've seen it against a team like Philadelphia, where they struggled to close out in that one, and games against, the Browns and the Panthers, where this offensive struggle has come back to cost them, and the defense hasn't quite been able to make up for what the offense was lacking.
What about, do you go to Darnold? Darnold Donations. That's the new company, Darnold's Donations.
I think real quickly, let's get some of these two blowouts out of the way. First,
that's true.
The Bengals. Yeah, so even if Burrow does come back, which he's still projected to. Their season, they're 3-7.
This was a Chase Brown legacy game, though. I'll give him that. He turned it up. 99 yards legacy game, Chase Brown.
Yeah. I was kind of Gainwell, man. He only had not like 24 rushing yards, but dude, he was killing them out of the backfield. 81 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns and 7 snags. Yeah, Rodgers goes down in this one. Rudolph comes in and finishes it out. And yeah, this was, again, like the Bengals just keep giving up so many points. I think there was the Kyle Duggar pick 6. I don't know what Flacco was looking at there, and then the James Pierce scoop and score. He took that one to the house. So 2 defensive touchdowns given up in this one. And when your defense is already given up so many points, you just can't be giving up defensive touchdowns as well, especially 2 of them. And like the Steelers really weren't doing a whole lot offensively. Like they were struggling to move the ball at times. Well, it was a pretty evenly matched game just in terms of total plays, third down efficiency, total yardage, time of possession. I mean, you really had a chance to win this if it weren't for the defensive touchdowns. And now Cincinnati, in I think 9 straight games, something like that, they've given up an NFL record of like allowing 27 or more points in consecutive games. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's been pretty bad. So I was like, the Steelers are kind of gifted a freebie from Flacco. Like that was like one of the easiest interceptions Duggar will ever get in his life.
This has got to be the worst locker room. People were talking about the Colts last year, but there is something to be said about what's going on behind the scenes because we don't even know the half of it. The Colts were just releasing a bunch of information, or it just didn't need to be put out there what was going on in the locker room last year in Indianapolis. But like somebody's got to go and document this. Like they had Jamar Chase and Chase Brown a couple weeks ago calling out the defense to finally close out a game. And then your offense comes down a couple weeks later and they're just turning the ball over. And you're still getting 34 points hung on you. Like this, there can't be any smiles.
No.
Through the week.
Now Jamar Chase is going to be suspended. He's just lying saying he didn't spit on Ramsey. And there's like a clear as day video of him doing that. But like
it kind of looks like he might have just accidentally spat on him while he was talking, but at the same time, like your team stinks. Why are you talking trash?
Say it, don't spray it. I don't know,
your
man.
Team stinks. Why are you even talking trash?
All right. The other blowout, Jacksonville, we got to remember, has an actual legit defense here, man. They
got some athletes over there. They really get after the quarterback.
So good. They really shut down the run, too. They're like one of the top they're the best run defense in the NFL, actually.
Allowed. Vidal, 13 yards. Oh, my God.
And I mean, like the Chargers could do absolutely nothing. Held Herbert to 81 yards passing. Trey Lance was in there by the fourth quarter. They just ran it down the throats of the Chargers too. Tootin and Etienne getting almost 40 carries.
They just can't Jags it up. That's really seems to be the case. They like to let games collapse pretty badly.
Yeah.
They should have beaten the Texans.
They should have. So they should be 7-4 or 7-3 rather.
7-3 with the division locked up.
Well, they still got the Colts.
Well, yeah.
But 4 touchdowns on the ground here. Jacoby Myers filling in really nicely with no Brian Thomas, no Travis Hunter. So I mean they're a little lacking in their weapons in the passing game. So, but if you can continue to run the football and play defense like this, they'll be just all right here. Yeah, like I said, like LA, man, like Herbert's gonna die behind that offensive line, dude. He is just getting battered.
Should we play the clip again? We still got it in here to show their pro football focus ranks of all their offensive linemen.
Yeah, dude. Let's one more time, man.
Bradley Bozeman, PFF ranked 36 of 36. He'll be your center tonight. Let's go to Trey Pipkins III.
Oh, no.
He's your right tackle. He'll be the 35th out of 36 right tackles in the entire NFL. And don't you worry, Mekhi Becton Sr. here. You think that actually says 38 of 37. He's close. It's 36 of 37. When we talk about ass, we mean this offensive line here. Austin Deculus. He is 38 of
Got some of the worst ranking offensive linemen in the league protecting this guy. The beginning of the year, everyone was like hyping him up. There was that meme. This guy's 6'6", 200 something pounds, dating Madison Beer. How can you even stop him?
Rocket arm. Well, you can have Joe Alt get hurt and lose Rashawn Slater. That's how you can stop him.
That'll kill you.
Yeah, dude, that's been like Bozeman and Becton weren't even really that bad last year. Like they were.
No, it's just a down year for him this year.
They just regressed a good amount. Yeah, dude. I mean, we were talking Chargers maybe winning the division, MVP for Herbert. Now it's like, I mean, we'll like, can they just hang on enough to sneak into the wild card? But then again, like I just think like you're gonna have to go on the road with that. Like unless they can figure something out in the protection, like that's just you're like a repeat of what happened in that Texans playoff game last year, where Herbert just was under siege and gave the ball away a ton. Speaking of giving the ball away a ton,
you're about to say the same thing.
Damn, Darnold, man, it was Jets Sam Darnold all over again, dude. The Rams defense has been playing nasty. I mean, their secondaries really started to play like that was their big weakness on defense, and that's started to improve a lot, dude. And like, I mean, you're looking at what this front's doing with Byron Young, Jared Verse there, Fisk and Puna Ford in the middle. Oh, it's dangerous right there. Guys like Kobe Turner have been like really great just in like pass rush relief as well. And I think, dude, like Nate Landman flying under the radar. He's been such a good player for him. Like just in coverage, especially like he's a really good coverage linebacker. Doesn't have like a ton of tackles or anything on the season. But these past few weeks, like especially, I think he's really starting to play his best ball. Like he's been jumping off the screen. I mean, you watch a Rams game and like the team broadcast team is raving about how good Nate Landman looks. And he's been looking really good.
He's got a real just nose for the football and high IQ of the game where he's just got himself in the right spot when the play comes to him. Where he's not going to let anything big break off. He's just going to blanket his guy.
I mean, if you're Seattle, like your defense played fantastic football. Like Stafford was not very comfortable in this one either. 15-28, only 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't even really give up that much on the ground. I mean, Kyron ran for 91. I mean, you kept LA behind the sticks a lot and didn't give him a whole lot of opportunities. Only 119 rushing yards as a team. The Rams were 2 of 11 on third down. Seattle outgained them. They were 7-16 on first down. They had more rushing yards. And I mean, they had significantly more time of possession. They had the ball for almost 38 minutes, Caveman.
Oh my gosh.
Like, dude, Sam Darnold single-handedly lost them this game. I was like, I don't want to be too hard on the guy, but like, I just can't.
And Jason Myers.
Yeah.
Kind of
that was
Shaheed, but that was a really long kick.
Yeah, that was far. Like 60 plus something. It wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was a 61 yarder.
Yeah. So I think he had the leg, just not the accuracy. But I mean, just with how efficient you were all offensively for the most part. I mean, 414 yards of total offense. Your defense had only given up 21 points. They gave up, they kept the opponent to 2 of 11 on third down. Rams were 2 of 3 on fourth down. They got a big fourth down stop there.
I get what you're saying about Darnold, though, man, because his picks.
I just can't really. There's really nothing else I can. They didn't get a lot of help out of the run game, I suppose. But even then, like,
I'd say there's only one pick where he was pressured too, and that's the one where he had to step up in the pocket. He should have just threw the ball in the dirt, but he just really threw it right into the defensive linebacker's hands.
That was the big thing that worried me with Seattle. Is like we saw it last season. We're seeing signs of it again. Like in a big game, like where it's really important, Sam Darnold poops his pants. And like, you're not playing. This
5
ain't the
turnovers, bro.
This ain't the Commanders. This ain't the Cardinals. You're not playing the Steelers. You know, like this was a big game.
They
for the
needed this
division.
one.
And they
Rams new jerseys though. I liking those.
Those were clean.
I'm liking those.
The midnight black, yeah, those were good.
Nice blue and yellow accents on there. Those are cool.
So for LA, yeah, the offense really not the crazy gaudy numbers we're used to, but I mean, all they had to do was just not screw this up. Just don't F up and put your defense in a bad situation. And you would win this football game, and that's what they did. Yeah, despite the 4 turnovers and everything, nearly gave them a shot to win it.
Yeah, they almost walked you off
in
your own stadium, and they turned it over 4 times.
Well, just a few notes on this snooze fest that we had here on Sunday Night Football.
Game? Oh yeah,
yeah. Like again, this was really just the Eagles' defensive line and front dominating. They were after Goff all night. Goff looked super uncomfortable. He was 14 of 37.
I think he only completed like 1 pass when he was under pressure too.
Jalen Phillips been a revelation for this team. Picked up a sack in this one. He had 5 tackles. Jalen Carter didn't get a sack, but he had 5 total tackles. 2 pass deflections. It was the big fellas up front too, batting balls down. Like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean were fantastic in pass coverage in this one. Don't get me wrong. Same with Dory Jackson. But dude, you had 2 balls batted at the line by Jalen Carter, 3 by Jordan Davis. Like those 2 big fellas in the middle, man. Like they just eat up your running backs. They can get pressure on the interior, and now you've got a guy like Jalen Phillips out there on the edge with dudes like Jalex Hunt. Ajomo's been great this season. Like the Eagles are going to go deep in the playoffs again because of this defense. Lane Johnson going down is going to hurt their offense. So that's what's going to suck, is that we're going to have to just watch the Eagles be boring and win boringly. But they
don't mind winning like that either. They're okay with running the ball 40 times, having 83 yards with Saquon. I mean, that's not even really.
They want to run the football. They want to have a lead and just let their defense get after you.
Score enough points in the first half, and they'll just take their foot off the gas offensively and just power run and get after you.
All right, flashback to the morning. Bryce Young thrown for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 31-45. Was this his best game ever as a pro?
Yes,
I think
this was his best game ever.
I can't think. I mean, he had some good games last season, but like, this was the best I've ever seen him as a pro.
This was great. This was a great game from him. Pitch the comeback.
Oh yeah, and I mean, he was hitting big plays all over the field. Didn't really get a lot out of his run game, man. Like he did a lot. He carried a lot with the passing the football. 25 attempts for only 6.7 or 67 yards rather. It's averaging, like they're only averaging 2.7 on the ground. So he was the offense. Him getting McMillan and the get involved. Dowdle out of the backfield. Tommy Tremble caught a big pass. Jalen Coker. I like him. Jalen Coker's nice.
He's not bad.
He's a really solid slot receiver there. Yeah.
The team got a shot though to win the division. They're only 1 game back, and they haven't even played any of their division matchups against the Bucs. They got 1 more game in New Orleans, and then they're 2 of the last 3 games of the year. Oh, they might not. They got the Bucs, Seahawks, and then in Tampa.
Yeah, wow, their schedule is brutal. They're only like, I mean, they lost to the Saints at home, so I mean that's one of their matchups. So they got the Niners, the Rams, the Bucs, the Seahawks, the Bucs again.
God.
That is a brutal stretch to finish out the year. But even so, you can look at performances like this and build off of it. I think the offensive line still needs a little bit of work. Young's been getting sacked a decent amount this season, still 5 sacks in this one. Yeah. And
it's the Bryce Young subplot.
I think just somebody, an elite type of edge rusher. Nick Scorton really hasn't worked out for you there. Like Derek Brown, been really good on the inside. Him and DJ Wanham, that combo's been good. I think you need an elite pass rusher. Secondary led by JC Horn, I think is good. If you can keep those guys together, you'll be all right. And build the trenches up a bit, maybe bring in another weapon for Bryce, and really just find like a good linebacker to take up the middle. So that's a brutal stretch to finish the year, but Carolina's definitely got to feel a lot more confident going into year 3 of the Bryce Young experience.
That kind of brought up a topic, a question that I wanted to bring up. We can wait till before we talk about the Bronco game, save that for last. We can do the rest of the games and then talk about this. But what do you think is the worst or the weakest position group across the entire NFL? This is what I was talking about with my dad the other day on Sunday. Kind of an interesting topic. Like across
do you mean what's
the weakest position group? Where do you think
that has the less talent, the least amount of talent in it?
Or just level of play in general? I'm not saying there's a lot of groups that have a lot of talent, and when you talk names, that's there's a lot to hype up. But when it comes down to how the season's actually going, it's a little different. Because I think safety is got to be one of the weakest position groups. There's some big time safeties that do well in their schemes, but at the same time, it's that's kind of been a forgotten position.
Yeah. I mean, they're important in the fact that they keep they don't let the defense get behind you, but a lot of what the safety does is just running up and tackling. True. So I would kind of agree with you there. That's where that would be what my pick is I just think
what are you about middle linebacker?
I think a middle linebacker is super important to be able do you have to do a lot? I mean, a lot of times that middle linebacker is the quarterback of the defense, and you gotta, you have to come up and fill the gap in the run game. You've got to cover either really elite tight ends or fast slot receivers. So I mean, if you have a linebacker that isn't good against the run and or struggles in pass coverage, it's a pretty big weakness in a defense that other teams can exploit. And I also think that you're just when you look at middle linebacker, especially, that's where we see some of the lowest talent pool, where it's just guys that we really consider elite. There are definitely some really good linebackers, but think of the elite middle linebackers that we got. Fred Warner comes to mind.
He's very, very elite level.
I feel like Nick Bolton's kind of up there. Zach Bond,
Demario
Davis, certainly. I feel if Greenlaw's kind of been away from a while, but he can kind of be that type of player as well. I think Bobby Okereke, even though his team's not very good, he's pretty elite. You just don't have very many elite middle linebackers. It's a tough group to fill.
Is that, I'd say the consensus before this year might have been quarterback play, or last season might have been quarterback play, just because a lot of younger guys had been drafted. Earlier careers hadn't really panned out. The passing offense and passing numbers compared to recent years just weren't the same.
I mean,
but I don't even think it's quarterback at all. I think we're just not giving young players a chance to develop.
The thing with QB is if the rest of your team is really really good. If your quarterback can just put together a few drives and not turn the football over, you can win a lot of games. But where you'll run into problems is like if you don't trust them to lead a game-winning drive. And so, like in that situation, like quarterback is still the most important position. It just doesn't necessarily always the most impactful.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, it's a very interesting debate.
What do you think is the weakest position group across the entire NFL? Let us know.
Kind of touched on this one a little bit. The Bills, I mean, getting vintage Josh Allen here. Definitely, they needed this off a tough loss, and they're trying to keep pace with the Patriots. 44-32, they get the victory. Buccaneers got to be a little upset that they've dropped 2 back-to-back. I mean, they've lost 3 out of the last 4 as well. And I mean, it's been first against the Lions, they kind of just got shut down offensively. And while they were a little more explosive in this one, they against the Patriots and the Bills, they just gave up so many explosives here. Now they've got the Rams on Sunday Night Football. Fortunately for them, after that, the schedule does get a lot
easier. You got 4 division games, Cardinals and the Dolphins.
So can they? I think it would be big if they can somehow steal one from the Rams here.
That would be huge.
Chris Godwin, I mean, like, is he coming back?
I think if they win that Rams game, they honestly got a chance to be the 2 or the 3 seed in the NFC.
Dude, if Bucky Irving is healthy, this changes a lot, even with the injuries at wide receiver, because Bucky's such a threat out of that backfield.
They need him back.
That he just he'll open up so much for Ibuka, and we'll see some more of that explosiveness from Ibuka. But Ibuka's just been seeing so many double teams getting bracketed in coverage, and just teams are just trying to take him out of the equation, and they can't really get anything going with him down the field.
Mm-mm. I want to see what happens though in this Rams game, because they got a chance to be the 2 seed, and doesn't that get them a bye week, right?
Yes. No, it doesn't.
Not anymore.
Seed, yeah,
not anymore. But they got a chance to be a 2 seed and host the 7, because they got a chance to sweep the NFC West. They beat the Rams. Cardinals are the easiest team in the end of your season in that series with them. They already beat the Niners and the Seahawks. Yeah, this is a big game for their playoff positioning.
Does LA? They don't have to play the Eagles, do they? Oh, they already lost to them.
Yeah, they already played them.
Yeah, they'll need Philly to drop one to maybe lose. But I really do think there's a good shot the Rams end up with the 1 seed here. I think it's coming down between LA or Philadelphia.
They're kind of the top dogs this season.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we're getting close to the end of the show. I want to make sure we got plenty of time to talk about Broncos.
Let's hit it.
Dude, this is a big one, man.
This was a huge game, man.
The Chiefs they're scared to run the football. Mahomes threw this 45 times in this game. And I mean, it was a lot of it, you could tell they really they really respected the Broncos pass rush, because a lot of it was just super quick throws to get him down the field. He hit 1 deep shot to Thornton, and that was just McMillan just played that bad. He was there. He just missed, timed his jump and everything. But that was probably really his only bad play of the day. Was giving up that big pass. And he was in position. He just misplayed it horrendously.
They had a couple other chances at the deep ball too that they tried earlier. Mm-hmm. That was the 3rd attempt that they tried to get Tyquan Thornton open deep.
I'm a little confused. The run game seemed like it was working semi well for the Kansas City. I mean, they had, Hunt was getting around 4.5 a carry. But they only went to him 13 times for 59 yards in this one, which was kind of shocking. I get like, yeah, I mean, you want to obviously let Mahomes throw the ball plenty. I think they thought like maybe they were going to be able to attack the secondary more with Pat Surtain not being in the game and not having. But like we're missing one of our best run defenders in Alex Singleton as well. So it's just interesting that they wouldn't try to go to that more. And like the rest of these guys in this game played really well. I thought like, like not a ton of big plays given up in this one. Like the long was at that 61 yarder, that bomb. I mean, besides that, the longest reception by any other player was 21 yards. That was on Kelsey's touchdown.
I think after that 61 yarder was the pick, right?
No, that was when Kelsey scored, I believe.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Kelsey did get a touchdown on that drive.
Yeah, it was a good game for him. 9 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. Then on the other side, though, Bo, man, he was super accurate in this one. 27 to 34, one of his best completion percentages of the season. And yeah, I mean, he made some really big time throws. I think he was diagnosing the blitzes really well. And just the crucial thing here, and this is what I like about like Bo. Like people will hate on him for being like boring or just like checking it down all the time, throwing it short, or like when he does throw a pick, he just kind of sends it down the field, and it's almost an arm punt at that point. When you have such a good defense like this, the most important thing you can do as a quarterback is to not make their life more difficult. Give them plenty of long fields to defend. Don't make them defend a lot of short fields. And he's been doing that really well all season. And then when we need him to be more aggressive and make the big throws in the fourth quarter in late game situations on big third downs, he does it, man. And he went through, I think he was going through his reads really well. He didn't get a lot of help from the run game. I mean, we kind of got away from that too. It was really more of a quarterback duel between Mahomes and Knicks, and then a duel between these defenses. And yeah, Vance Joseph dude, when he got these sacks, I mean, he went into his bag. He got McMillan. Look, you gave up that one deep pass, but I think besides that, dude, you were, 6 tackles. You got a pass deflection, 2 sacks. He just ran those corner blitzes perfectly. And I mean, Vance Joseph called those up at the perfect time. First on that Hail Mary attempt, so they didn't even give the Chiefs a chance. And then you had the one to get the ball back after we went down and tied the football game up. He called up just a great corner blitz. And I think the D-line did super good of too, setting the edges and keeping Mahomes in the pocket. And we got good interior pressure up the middle. So like we just didn't give him anywhere to really run. Like he wasn't able to kill us with his legs. And I mean, his arm can still be just good enough, but it's really when he gets those big scrambles that kill you. And we took that away as a team. And then I got to talk about the penalties. Were some of our penalties justified? Sure. And there were 10 penalties on each team in this game, but the Broncos got hit by the penalties a lot harder. They had a pick 6 wiped off the board by like the tackiest illegal contact call I've ever seen in my life. And they ended up with 147 penalty yards in this one. Also, somebody's got to like track this stat of just like how many times Mahomes has had an interception taken away via penalty. I mean, it's got to be up there.
That has to be a pretty crazy stat. The fact, though, that it's 10 penalties, 147 yards, and 10 penalties, 69 yards. And there's a lot of Chiefs fans that are complaining about the officiating in this game. Like, Are you serious?
Right.
It's like a 50-yard difference, nearly.
Like maybe Franklin got away with a false start there on that one play.
It's the Chiefs. How many false starts they get away with?
Also, like
the last
earlier in
9
that
years?
game, like he definitely got away with a hold or a pass interference on Franklin on the deep shot that, excuse me, probably held him up from being able to run under that football. It like went just off his fingertips. He was getting grabbed by Watson, and I mean, so it ended up just coming back as karma later in this one. Thought it was a good game called from Sean Payton, aside from that RJ Harvey trick play. That was that almost flipped the game in a big way. We got to start talking. We talk about how great Shohei Ohtani is as an athlete. Son of put Bo Nix in those conversations because I mean, this guy, all the passing touchdowns, he's got the rushing touchdowns, he's got the receiving touchdown. Now he's getting pass deflections out here, playing DB.
Wow, he's everywhere.
He really is
He's
a
everywhere,
generational
man.
athlete right there.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the Shohei Ohtani of the NFL right there, like playing both sides of the ball. So eat your heart out, Travis Hunter. Yeah, my big concern just for Denver still is just can't get a solid rushing attack going. That's still just our biggest problem.
Well, I don't even know what the heck happened to J.K. Dobbins, and I look at the clip. That was a hip drop tackle.
Yeah, didn't get called.
Didn't get called, dude.
At the end of the season, thought they were focusing more on that, but apparently not.
Scadaboo and Jaden Daniels both got injured as well. Unflagged hip drop tackles.
I think in this game felt like a playoff game, because Kansas City kind of was. If you wanted any hope of winning your division, you definitely have to come out and get this. And I mean, Chiefs got to be like one of the best 5-5 teams the league has seen. It's just kind of like they just haven't had that discipline and that ability to close out one-score games this year. They're 0-5 now, I think.
Yeah.
1-4 or something like that.
On the road, they're 1-4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really bad away from Arrowhead too, and now when you've got this losing record, like if you do make the playoffs, like you're gonna have to go on the road.
That's not good. They can't really win on the road, and they are gonna be able to host.
Mm-hmm.
That pick though, Jaquan McMillan, that dude got up for that.
Yeah,
that was some insane standing vertical.
That was probably one of the like Mahomes got bailed out by that awful pick 6 he threw getting taken off, but that again, like that one was just him like trying to force something on the sideline, and McMillan made them pay there. Undercut it beautifully, jumped up, got his feet down, and then of course they had to find every reason to put that ball back inside the 5. But then the Broncos put together their best offensive drive of the day, go down the field, score their only touchdown of the game. Won it off of Will Lutz's leg. We'll take that. 9-2. Great week for the Broncos because, I mean, Colts are on bye. They've got the better in-conference or the better record against AFC teams over the Patriots. So they're currently in the 1 seed. Chargers lost. They beat the Chiefs. Raiders lost. I mean, Raiders weren't really a threat or anything. It's just always nice when they lose. And yeah, going into the bye, good shot that like the Colts drop a game in Kansas City. Like the Chiefs have been really strong at home, but they are just struggling on the road.
They're pretty much all their wins at home. But this could also be a game that really just eliminates them. Mm-hmm. This is a really tough part of their schedule.
I mean, now they're back 2 games on the Jaguars. The playoff picture, I mean, it's Denver, it's New England, Indy, and Pittsburgh as your leaders right now. And then you look at your 6th seed is or 5 seed rather is Buffalo, 6 seed LA, and your 7 seed is the Jags. Who,
Yeah.
actually, I was mistaken. They only have a 1 game advantage over Kansas City.
So they need to win this one.
Yeah. But they have a head-to-head tiebreaker, so it really is actually a 2-game advantage just because of that. Because if their records are the same, Jacksonville has the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's right. Man, it's getting down to the wire for Kansas City from late in the year.
Mm-hmm. It's getting late early for them. Let's take a look at the rest of their schedule actually, and just see who they got to play.
Colts
are going to be, that's a big one. Then they're on the road against the Cowboys. Got the Texans, home for the Chargers, in Tennessee, home for the Broncos.
On Thursday, on Christmas.
Yeah. And they're on the road against the Raiders to close out the season. So for the most part, some very winnable games for them. I mean, good chance that they can go and only lose 1 or 2 more games and still be around 10-7, 11-6.
Yeah. It's just going to be tough. Hopefully you don't lose another one of these division games, because that'll really screw up their chances.
Yeah, they really need to be good in their division and in the conference. They're 2-4 against the AFC.
Yeah, it helps they got some easier ones after the Colts. Like Texans got a good defense, and on prime time in Houston,
that could be a trap
might
game,
be a game that they might lose. If they beat the Colts, they might drop that game in Houston.
That's crazy. I kind of want them to beat the Colts just because Indy's got the head-to-head over us because that leverage call. We finally saw another leverage call this season, but it wasn't as costly. Actually, you know what? I'm okay with the Colts beating the Chiefs because Colts still have to play the Jags twice, the Texans twice. They got the Seahawks and the 49ers. So, dude, the rest their schedule is brutal. It's Kansas City in Kansas City, Houston, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, home for the Niners, home for the Jags, at the Texans.
It's a tough final stretch. Coming out of the bye week.
Things are definitely getting real.
They're playing their best though, at least.
Like Indiana Jones. All right. Let's let me know if you think the Broncos got a shot at that number 1 seed here. Probably got time for 1 or 2 more games here, Caveman. Final 8 minutes. Not a whole lot to really talk about in this San Francisco game. I mean, the Niners just a better team.
Yeah, we got the broken record though.
Dominated the Cardinals, but Brissett, dude, the run game just non-existent. So yeah, I'll just have him drop back 57 times in this one. And he completed 47 passes for 452 yards.
Yep.
2 TDs, 2 INTs. Trey McBride, he's like that meme of like the Bugatti next to the trap house. That's what he is on this Cardinals team. He's such a good tight end. Thoroughly outdueled George Kittle, who did have 2 touchdowns, but less receptions and yardage. I love this Michael Wilson stat line, dude. Yeah. Oh my.
15 catches.
That's got to be the quietest 15 catches for $185 I've ever seen.
I know.
Because it just came in such a blowout loss.
Even Brissett, like I didn't realize he even broke a record until after the game, when it got posted. Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. Purdy looked good in his return. Only 200 yards. He was super efficient. 3 touchdowns in this one. And I really like that Brian Robinson's getting worked into this game plan a little bit more, just to take some of the hits off of McCaffrey, man, because he was touching the football like 35 times a game while they had all these other injuries. I mean, they're kind of getting healthy. they've just been like they're doing this like back and forth where they win one week, lose the next week, and they like break that cycle and stack a few wins here to keep pace with the Rams and the Seahawks. We'll see, but yeah. Record for Brissett, but it came in the blowout losing effort. But it's still kind of cool to see. Give him a shout for that. I mean, in the blowout on Monday night, we can probably just dance through real quick. Geno Smith still pretty bad at quarterback.
Yeah.
I just saw the running numbers for Vegas. 12 carries for 27 yards.
Geno outgained Mostert and Ashton Genty.
Genty had 6 carries for 7 yards. Are you kidding? He had a long of 11, so that meant most of these yards were negative. I know he got safety than this one. That offensive line, dude, 5 traffic cones when it comes to run blocking.
It's worse than Herbert's O-line.
For real. Yeah, I mean, Bowers and about your lone bright spot, Trey Tucker was able to catch a touchdown, I suppose. And this one came through. I needed 14 points from him in fantasy football. Snuck out with a 1-point win. Thank you, Trey Tucker.
That's legendary.
And then, yeah, I mean, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens got benched, and you wouldn't, for the first series, and you wouldn't have even known, dude. Pickens, 9 snags for 144 in the touch. CD, 5 catches, 66 yards in the touchdown. 18 targets for the two of those guys. Wow.
You would have never even known.
Dak was, uber efficient, 25 of 33, 268, 4 touchdowns. Got a good solid game out of Javonte, 93 yards on the ground. Dak lost a fumble. That was Geno, but Geno threw an interception to balance it out. I mean, I wouldn't feel too confident if I were the Cowboys for this one because, I mean, it was the Raiders, but good to see you get like just a very in control, commanding win against a bad team here.
Yeah, that's a feel good win.
Yeah, I think in the last game we really got to just cover here is this Browns Ravens game.
Shador first starts, first snaps. He'll be coming in next week too.
But I mean, how is this the first time he had taken any reps with the first team?
Cleveland. Now watch. By Thursday, I bet you Deshaun Watson's going to be cleared and he's going to be named the starter or something.
Why did they even draft him? It's like they just so badly do not want to play him. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Lamar he got picked off twice. I mean, one of those was like a screen pass gets knocked up into the air. But they did a lot of their damage on the ground, including you got to love the just what was it called? The bootleg run off the tush push.
Oh, that was
Mark
insane,
Andrews.
dude. I never even knew he was that elusive. Where did he have that speed?
I know.
He took the snap and spun off the line like a running back, dude.
They had showed the week before, like off of that tush push thing that they normally do with him, like where they pitch it to Lamar. And so then that was also kind of what they were faking there, was pitching it to Lamar Jackson. The Browns defense was just so in conflict. And then there was one guy at home in that gap to stop Andrews, except one problem. Patrick Ricard was running towards him with a head of steam. And then, you put Mark open field, turned on the afterburners.
How did he not get caught? I've never seen him run that fast before.
He broke the franchise record for receiving yards in that game. So pretty good game for Mark Andrews in that one. And I mean, this was one of those ugly AFC North football games where both defenses were making plays all over the field. I mean, I thought the Ravens, like Shador also was just under siege a lot in this one. Like your first ever reps and your offensive line blocked horribly. He only got sacked, I think twice. One of the times Gabriel got sacked, but they just were getting hit. There were 10 QB hits in this one. So like they were just getting absolutely belted. You had a decent rushing attack from Judkins and Sampson. Yeah,
Over time, it just was like, you guys can't even pass the ball, so we're just gonna. Your run game will be nothing now.
Yeah, Shador just kind of got thrown to the wolves.
Yep.
I'm like,
expected though.
Yeah, it's like the Browns. Kevin Stefanski like was forced to draft him, and he just like hates this kid.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
And finally, he got somebody intervened and was like, "Get Gabriel out of there and like put Shador in." And he's like,
"Well, Gabriel got injured. That's the only reason."
Oh yeah,
why.
that's true.
And he's out. He's labeled out for this week too, so it's going to be another week of Sanders getting sacked.
For Cleveland, though, Carson Schlesinger, the rookie, bro, he's been fantastic for y'all.
He's pretty good.
Myles Garrett, another 4-sack performance. Dude, he is going to break the sack record, and his team's going to be like 3-14. He's going to have like 25 sacks and on a 3-14 team.
He's already got 15 right now.
He's projected at 25.5.
Oh my
to
God.
finish the season. He is having this is an unreal year that he's having, really. Forced fumble in there as well, the 15 sacks, 29 solo tackles, and it's going to just fly so under the radar because the Browns are going to be drafting with the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like they should have. I think they kind of deceived them. Maybe he thought that they were in a better spot to be a win now, but also like, you took the money, man. You could have gotten traded.
Yeah, you could have left.
Yeah.
You could have left.
That's going to do it for another edition until the final whistle, Football Frenzy. Thank you, everyone who tuned in and listened and left a comment. We really appreciate your support. We'll be back tomorrow for another edition until the final whistle here on Military Broadcast Radio.
Justice Jackson, they captured Herman Goring alive.
Tell me about him.
He's the face of the Nazis. I'm going to put Goering on trial.
Ever escapes the hangman's noose.
Very sure of yourself.
No man has ever beaten me.
Goering has to fall.
You don't just have to win, you have to be flawless.
You're walking into a trap.
Knowing what we know now, would you still follow Adolf Hitler?
Nuremberg, rated PG-13, now playing only in theaters. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.